Hey, salutations, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Perspectives Podcast. We are your hosts. My name is Littyyy Flacko. This is Holden Stephan Roy. Say hi, Holden.
Hi, Holden.
There we go, my guy with the on cue. Today we have a special guest, podcaster, man of the culture, pusher and influencer of the flyness, and low key, in my opinion, probably like should try his hand at stand-up comedy and shit. Like, Sly God, or just Sly?
No,
or
it's all right. Sly T, but
Sly?
it bounced back and forth. Don't matter. Sly's cool, T's cool, whatever. Sly God, because I'm from Buffalo.
So,
Spin
all
off
I
Sly
saw
God.
was Sly God, and I couldn't figure it out, so I rolled with Sly God. Because it's all over your, it's all over your shows. It just says Sly God, which I think is because it's your handle, and then that's just how it worked out. But
we alternate names a lot. You see XL be flipping people's names all the time, and Mercy, we're really stuck on BD, man. That was kind of BD Siegel. So we're rocking with that one a lot.
Oh man, did this happen again?
it did, yeah.
We heard the Let's Shop This Fable plug.
We heard that.
All right, we back.
And the Lolifes podcast is, I think, the other plug.
Yeah.
Man of the culture.
Yeah.
That was another one. Definitely, I think the comedian thing, there might be a point to that, although we'll come to see, I guess, whatever. But I think Flacco's with us again.
Yeah, man. I think I'm a Sly, man. I had a lot of like energy coming into this. My connection is like deflating.
Ruining the
like,
vibe,
yo, am I even gonna be able to ask my question? But so we got Sly in the building. I'm very happy. I'm a big fan of you guys' show. I'm a big fan of what you guys do. I'm a big fan of you and No Mercy back and forth. And the energy you bring to No Mercy is very welcoming, I think. Yeah, man. So the way we usually start the show is we do our introduction of like how me and Holden came to be, how our show came to be about, right? I was doing like an album. I was on Littyyy Bros, which is like my group, and we were doing our first project, fresh out of pandemic. You were talking about starting your show with No Mercy at the beginning of pandemic.
No, that was
right?
mine. Mercy's came after. I was talking about the Lolifes earlier. That's what started in the pandemic. Yeah.
Right. Lolifes, right. And so we similar, right? Like, work is out of the question. Let's drown ourselves in artistic shit. We put out an album. The engineer for the album is a homie of mine from up in Montreal, and I always say like he might as well be like a New Yorker because like he like doesn't ever promote none of the artists that he engineers for and shit. Because it's like if I promote one, then I gotta promote them all, and I'm not co-signing a lot of this shit. I'm just getting paid to like mix. You know what I mean? So like he's slick like that, or he's sly like that, and
I see what you did.
He doesn't promote anything that he works on, but he promoted our shit.
Facts.
And promoted it like quite favorably, like on some like, I never been like lit in New York, but like it looks like if I were to be lit in New York, I would love to be doing it with the Littyyy Bros. And like Holden saw that and was like, what? Like Merker never shouts out anybody. And then he went and looked up our shit, and he was starting to do interviews, but like really was building a channel upon reviews, like, and doing album reviews.
Yeah.
He was doing like lots of album reviews and shit. And he like reviewed our album, and like the album review like was wild thorough. Like I was like, this is the best album review I've ever seen, fam. And I was just like totally unexpected. I'm like, look at this white man being all fucking, all in depth and shit. That motherfucker paid more attention than my homies, goddammit. So I was like, we should do an interview together. And he was like, I was about to ask you to do that. I was like, too late. Thirsty McBucket over here asked you. You know what I mean? So like, we did an interview, and I felt like I went to fucking therapy, bro. I was like, yo, he asked me shit that like, I'm like, yo, we talked about my life before rap, which has never happened to me all these years doing like rap fucking interviews. You know, it's always like, when did you fall in love with hip hop? And like, if it's not that, then it's like, you know, would you be on Love and Hip Hop? Or then if it's not that, then it's like battle rap related, and it's like all battle rap things, and it's just like, man, I got a whole ass life outside of this shit. You know what I mean? So, but like, it was really good. And then like, as a typical New Yorker, I was like, yo, you should let me put you on to my homies. And we interview my homies, and we started interviewing my homies. And here we are on episode 59. 59.
That's good.
59. We've been doing this for like close to 2 years now.
Yeah,
Jesus
definitely.
Christ.
You got it's man versus be all up in here, people.
I know. If you see me swatting, this is Fly. I'm telling you. I've been fighting with it.
You gonna catch him.
One of these days.
Shouts to Vice.
I'm gonna get him. But that's what's up, though. I mean, because I've seen a lot of podcasts start, and like they don't understand how like slow it's gonna be for a while, and after 10 episodes, you're like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, a lot of people were done quick. Yeah,
I get it
because their heart's not in it.
Yeah, you just gotta go. Like, don't matter if one person. I was happy when I got like 10 views. I think the first one I got was like 100. And I was happy after that getting 10, 9. And I'm giving the same I was now back then too, just cause, yo, it was fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
And
you enjoy what you do.
Right. And you can't give it up. Like a lot of people do. So to keep going, I gotta give it to you. I'll salute everybody over 50. Once you get to 50, you get the salute.
Facts.
Yeah, that's pretty
You guys
hard.
have hit 50. You guys are also doing like multiple episodes a week, which is like, like mind blowing. Like that's dedication.
Yeah,
I don't know. If I'd have been able. Like I credit like the homies from. So we're on EO Dub's platform. I'm not sure if you're familiar with End of the Week. EO Dub is like the longest weekly open mic in New York City. Okay. And they've been running they were running up until pandemic every Sunday for 20 years. Leading now it's more than that.
So it was about 20 years,
But leading up to pandemic, they were leading into their 20th year of like every fucking Sunday. And like they've got like a pretty legendary, like, you know, like Immortal Technique came through, and like a lot of people have graduated through EO Dub. It's like New York City, like Math has spent a lot of recent episodes bigging up EO Dub and talking about like that's where he got his performance chops from, is like performing there every Sunday and shit. And so when pandemic hit and you couldn't throw no live events, they came online, and one of the founding members had passed away, and we celebrated his life on the EO's on this Zoom, and we stayed on it for like, I think it was like maybe 2 months straight, 24 hours, just mourning together, building together, celebrating him together. You know what I mean? Just really. The Lupe Fiasco, Mickey Facts, when Lupe Fiasco was talking shit about battle rap and saying that battle rap isn't the end-all be-all, and he named up another platform, it's EO Dub that he was talking about. Okay. And he like started that type of talk, coming to pay his respects to Vice Versa on here. So like, you know, we came on here to do the show, and here we are, you know what I mean? Like years later, and keeping their, you know, that same rhythm that they're back to live performances now, because that's their thing. You know what I mean? Is like giving a home to indie artists performing live and shit.
That's what's up.
But yeah, so point being, here we are, and we're 50 episodes in, but you guys do 3 episodes. I credit people when they tell us, when they give us credit for like being this deep in. I'm always like, yo, Holden. Like if he wasn't as stable and a fucking rock that shows up every week, I would have been like fucked up and been like,
but this is
yeah,
all
son.
like big blessings to do this. Like
Yeah.
the opportunity, like, yo, I'm from Montreal. It isn't like I get exposed to New York culture that directly so frequently from so many people who've done things or been interacted with people who've done things. Like, we got to interview Excel. That was exciting to learn his story. And so, like, in what universe would I normally get to have those kinds of interactions? It's just not, you know, you have to kind of create the environment. And arguably, I went from watching this kind of stuff to doing this kind of stuff. So, like you said, once you start loving it, it's not really about the views so much as the experience. And I don't really imagine the lifestyle being different. I would, even like the last 2 weeks, we didn't do an interview or anything. I was kind of not even streaming. And I'm like, man, I miss it. Like, something's not in my life that needs to be here, even with the summer and the nice things.
I had the same thing. I went on vacation up in the woods, man. Everybody, you should unplug. I'm telling you, for a week, a year, just no phone, no nothing. But I'm like having like I'm like, I can't check YouTube or nothing. I'm not uploading, and I'm freaking out. But I'm trying to have a good time. But I'm like, oh, I wonder if they like that last one I put up. So then there's this one patch of grass that you get signaling. So you'll see mad cars lined up. So I had to creep over there real quick and just give it a check. But that's that. I was working every day for at least an hour, a whole year. Then just to stop. It's a weird feeling. So I feel I get that same way. I get that same way.
Facts. Mm-hmm. Right. So so here we are, and so the way we usually like to get to, we're here to learn your life experience. I try to tell everybody it's your origin story. Okay. Like, so that's what we're gonna do here today. So let's start off with where are you from? Tell the people your name, your aliases, where you're from, and where your parents are from.
Okay. I'm from Buffalo. I don't give out my name. We'll get to it because I'm sure you're gonna ask how me and Mercy connected. That's when you're gonna find out why I don't give out my name. Because you're already knee deep in it when I was with Mercy, already fighting before I was even linking up with him. But I'm from Buffalo. Was born and raised. What was it? You want to know what my dad?
Where your parents were from?
Oh, the same place. Everyone's from Buffalo. Everyone never left. Whole family.
So your family, was it like right? Because us, right? Us people of color in this country, right? Like our origin stories are usually in the South. You know what I'm saying? Or the Caribbean. So like, is it that like your parents, or were they like always like generationally, like great grandparents were up here?
Whole family.
Grandparents were up.
I'm not sure about too far back, but for a while, it's just for as long as I know it's been in Buffalo.
That's wild. Still is. All right. Since Flacko froze, I'm gonna just roll into the part where he would hand it off to me to do the next question.
Okay.
So that's sequencing. It just worked out there.
Perfect. Planned.
So basically, usually we'd be talking to musicians, whatever. So it's a little skewed in the music direction, but it's a bit of a story. And when it lands, we'll just kind of let you run it, and it'll bring us back. So starts out with my girlfriend one time, and she's washing the dishes, and she's got her phone on, and she's playing that Black Eyed Peas song, I got a feeling, ooh. She's vibing, she dancing, she doing her thing, and I look at her, and I have this thought, and I'm like, yo, when the fuck did this song become chores music? Because if you like think about this song, run it back to like 2010, it's middle of the night party music no matter where you were in the world. Then effectively we run it 10, 12 years in the future. All of a sudden now it's this song that you put on when you be doing some chores, you be doing something like that, when you're trying to go back to them celebratory times. And it just got me thinking about the transition of music, because like the song doesn't change at all, but our lives change. So the context and the relationship that we have with the song evolves so much that its place in our lives changed. It got me thinking about the little ones running around with the Pop Smokes and whatnot, how they have no idea that they're going to be washing dishes to that in 15 years. They don't know that when I heard that, I skipped the line and went straight to my dishes always watching music. It's just kind of how the life cycle goes. But the reason I bring this up is because often when we do watch interviews and we do hear about people's origin stories of sorts, it always seems to start at the same point, this adolescent period where everybody's like 12, 11, whatever. They're starting to form their identity. They start talking about, yo, I fell in love with hip hop at this point. I started to rap at this point. My first favorite this is at, it's all like at this phase of life. But then we're kind of skipping a lot of like the early phases. Like I can remember, being like super young, how much music was impactful. Like there's a good chance even like as a baby and shit, music was being around us. But I can remember being like 5 years old up in Montreal in the crib, and my dad had these like, gray boxes all around the apartment, the amp and the preamp and the radio on the tape deck, and with these wires going onto the surround sound all over. And he'd be playing some shit like the Led Zeppelin tapes and stuff in the daytime, but at the nighttime it was that club music straight from the Montreal clubs and whatnot. I can remember my mom's, it was different. It was like musicals and Disney shit and all of that kind of love song vibes, and all of this created a smorgasbord of sounds that kind of blended up and created this whole soundscape of my environment before I had any real control over any of it, but it impacted me to this very day. So I was hoping, Sly, you could bring us all back to your early days in Buffalo and let us know a little bit what it sounded like to be you growing up, considering most of us probably did not grow up in Buffalo and don't have that full context of what life was like.
Yeah, well, okay, well, how I grew up, I did like that conversation you were having about the music, because as soon as you were talking about bringing it back, I can remember, because how I grew up, I'll get back to the Buffalo thing, because I'm gonna be honest, the whole growing up, my dad, they worked outside. It's a short one, but about to get to the music, I remember because my dad played the guitar, so he'd be listening to Zeppelin, like you said, Pink Floyd, Van Halen, a lot of rock. Rolling Stones was his favorite, so we would. So I'm listening to that. My mom would be listening to Alanis Morissette.
Hey. Yeah, you guys are right next to Canada, though, right?
What's that?
You guys would be right next to Canada, though, so you get Canadian radio stations.
Yeah, New York City, New Yorkers talk wild shit about Buffalo.
Yeah, for some reason they think that we live in like the farm, bro.
We call it South Canada up there.
I mean, y'all are closer to Niagara than I am.
Yeah, I'm sadly will never be able to see Canada, but whatever. one day I could wave to her from across the water. But yeah, I can remember that. So growing up in Buffalo, I just outside a lot, man. Like with the family, with the friends, just running around. I really didn't, as a kid, do much really. You just do like I didn't start doing anything until like the teenage years, because I was really just playing around, like just a bunch of different friends. We would go to the pool because we lived in this apartment complex. So growing up until I was like, I want to say 7th grade, and I moved out of that apartment, and then they got a house. That was the first time, and then that's when life started, pretty much like outside of that. Because really in that apartment complex, you just kind of stayed in the complex. You never really left. Besides go to the store, that's just where you were. That's where everyone was. So that's all.
Everything was right there in the apartment complex. I'm pretty sure you had like a playground.
Besides the store, everything else, man.
And the store was close by. And then when you outgrow the playground, then it ends up being, well, now we're just chilling on milk crates in front of the building, or chilling on the corner, or depending on what you're doing outside,
And that all started teens. That's when the rebellious,
And honestly, right, like it's not surprising, but it's dope and refreshing to hear that, like, right, that like your father was like into rock, and then like your mom is like into like, what would Alanis Morissette and that stuff be like? Soft rock,
she's definitely some kind of alternative rock with like hip hop drums, and like she's an interesting one.
Alternative rock, right?
That and hip hop.
But it's crazy
the whole
because
R&B,
I know a lot of people in my age group, right? Like I'm older, I'm 42, so like I know a lot of people in my age group that like when they were teenagers and they were hitting 20, they were listening to Alanis Morissette too.
Yo,
You know
cause
what I
she
mean? Like
mixed
I
in
know
all kinds of hip hop with her stuff,
homies.
bro. Her like she made like a timeless album in '95. Okay, like that one album, Jagged Little Pill. It mixed up so much shit. It is an iconic album, and it's one of the finest exports of Canada.
I'll listen to facts. And besides, or don't short yourself. The Trailer Park Boys is my favorite.
Facts.
Show.
It's pretty good. Okay. It fell off at the end, but it's pretty good.
No, I still rock. I'm watching it now. Okay. I pay swearing that $2 a month to watch that. I love the Trailer Park Boys. Respect. I watch the pod and all that.
Trailer Park Boys does have like a. I feel like it's like a modern, right? Show my age again, right? Kind of like Kids in the Hall. Like I haven't seen TV entertainment picked up as heavily outside of Canada as Kids in the Hall until Trailer Park Boys. There was a lot of things in between, in the middle, right? Even Drake's Degrassi. Like when people were like, when Drake came out and people were talking shit about Drake and would be like, oh, Wheelchair Jimmy and all this shit. I'm like, y'all were really watching Degrassi? Like I didn't watch that at all.
I remember when I saw
Canadians
the best I ever
watching
had
Degrassi.
Video.
Canadians was watching Degrassi.
I think they were for real. They really liked that. Like, you saw the name and you kind of skipped the channel, right? Like in America, we're not watching the Degrassi. Well, I'm not watching Degrassi.
I wasn't.
But I know you see the commercials. So I remember watching the best I ever had video, and I'm looking. I'm like, why does this dude look so familiar? I'm like, this can't be the dude from that the white show, the Degrassi. And when I found out it was the same person, I'm like, oh, this guy's gonna be gone in a month, man. Give it a month, maybe 6, he'll be gone. Boy, was I wrong. Very wrong.
Proved you wrong like a motherfucker.
Very wrong.
Trailer Park Boys, Kids in the Hall, Drake, Alanis Morissette, Celine Dion also.
Yeah,
you guys have a lot of good exports.
When
you guys get an export that hits in America, it hits like a motherfucker.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like Kids in the Hall, that was kind of like back then in the middle for them to have. It was almost like a Canadian Saturday Night Live, but what made it ill is that it blew up in the States at the time when Saturday Night Live was popping, and we were, and like arguably one of their best casts, like fucking Farley, Chris Farley, Adam Sandler, just all these people that you're like, yo, Chris Rock, like all these people, right? That is like, yo, this is probably one of like SNL's greatest casts ever.
Yeah. And
here comes this Canadian show, and it actually, like, you know what I mean? They're good numbers. So
Canada's got that short guy complex where we got to excel at everything because we're right next to America.
I'm going to be honest. Didn't really like SNL. I was more a Mad TV guy. I'm going to be honest.
So, yo, like...
Yeah, never really thought it was funny.
So, like...
Not bad at it.
So when you was like young and stuff, like was you having aspirations of being some kind of musician person, or were you involved in different hobbies and things?
5th grade, definitely was gonna break out rap star. Definitely in my mind, I knew it was gonna happen. I had the Dodge Magnum just had dropped 2005, and my ma got it. So and then Rick Ross just dropped Hustling, right? And he pulled up in the same car, so everyone was like, "Oh!" So I would love getting dropped off in it, and I was like, "Yep, I'm gonna be a rapper. I'm gonna start rapping. I'm gonna rap in this car, and now my life's gonna be made." But then I found out I couldn't rap. Very, very early on, couldn't rap. I would love to. I love music. I just can't rap. I don't know why. I can't do it, and I feel like some people that aren't good should just accept that. Some people just can't do it.
Yeah. It's not for everyone. It's not for everyone.
Is there like
it's dope that you early on figured it out. What was it?
Yeah, was there a moment?
Like, was it just one try and like give up, or was it like persistently tried for a little while and then realized like, nah?
It's just like you write down what you think is gonna be dope, then you look back at it and it's just not good. You could just tell it's not good. It was fun to like rap back and forth like with your boy, but to take it serious, nah. Because then you hear people coming up that were taking it serious, and then you read your little nonsense. It sounds nothing like his, and he sounds pretty good for coming up. So you don't want to just not even worth it. Just throw the paper away, try something else, sit down. I never wanted to really make. I wanted to make beats, but I couldn't. I couldn't afford it at the time. Couldn't get all the
production, DJing and producing is expensive back then.
Facts.
Yeah. So that was right out the window. Once I started looking at all right, what about a keyboard? They got the beat, the whatever that thing. What's
MPC,
it called?
MPC,
yeah. No.
Kai. Yeah.
This podcast is expensive, but way different time in my life than I was back then when I thought I was gonna be a rap star. But
this is more entry level, affordable as a grown man than even because there's even like now right, like it's like you could get started with Fruity Loops and shit, right? But like if you want to get hardware to produce, that shit is still expensive. Like I comparatively speaking to like getting a really good mic and what you need to like podcast properly. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I don't even do that. I be here on my motherfucking iPad and my motherfucking AirPods. You know what I'm saying?
You see how me and Holden rock. We had to get the best of the best. Had to get the SM7B.
That's what it is.
That's what you got to get.
You
work up to it. This is the. I'm getting the black. What's it called? I gotta look it up. It's fire too. But you gotta get
certain things.
People say you can start off with just like, just talk on your phone. Don't listen to them. You can't because it sounds trash. No one wants to listen to a podcast that sounds trash. It's never gonna happen. So I was doing like as soon as I wanted to started studying podcasts. Started looking up how to do it. What's the best? But I started off with like some $50 condenser mic or whatever. We both had it, and then but I didn't even know about stereo and mono. So the early episodes, couple, like 10 of them, you heard me, but you couldn't hear my co-host because I had it in stereo, so it only came through my mic and not his. And I'm like, well, why is this happening? So then I finally looked that up, and I'm like, I've been just wasting time putting it in stereo. So I thought I was doing the right thing this whole time.
I remember that because in my case, it was like it only played in one ear.
That's it. And I didn't know until I put headphones on finally and was listening to it because I never really watch them back because I edited them.
Facts. Nobody want to watch it back after editing it.
Yeah, my Fresh, he thinks it's weird that I don't watch it. I don't watch them. I edit them and then I put them. I did it live, which I forget a lot of it, but whatever. Then I watch it. I gotta edit it. I'm out sitting down watching it. I'll skim through when I upload to see, all right, did I miss something I wanted to take out, or did something drop and we stopped, just to make sure everything's all right. That's it. I don't even like them. I've done enough. I've done what I had to do.
It's like you live the conversation, and then if you remember the conversation, it's like watching and then you just had that. It's like watching a movie again, but you were in the movie.
It's done. Yeah, right. I film on Tuesdays. I come home Tuesday night and start editing. I live this. I don't need to watch it again. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. I know who that guy is.
I feel you. We don't do. I don't know about you, Holden, but I don't watch back our episodes. When you know what, we ended up doing review episodes, like at certain points, like maybe like 15 or 20 interviews in, we did like recap, and we went back and watched live on the stream, right? Like on the show, we watched old episodes live, and that I think was like the first time either of us like had seen our
it was bad, right?
Okay,
I bet you
it wasn't okay. It wasn't as bad as I thought, but like I remember watching one of them, and I'm like, bro, I didn't smile for 2 hours. I think I was talking to Iron Solomon, and I didn't smile for 2 hours talking to that man. I was elated, dude, and I was having a great time. You look at my face, and it's dead ass like, man, it's not a good look.
See, it was probably one of your first times around battle rappers too. So
absolutely, I didn't even know anything about battle rap.
Part of the story with him, right, is that he was just doing album reviews for hip hop, or were you doing other?
No, I mean, we were dabbling with other. I'd say like
focusing...
70 to 75% was hip hop, but 25% was other stuff. We did dabble, but
because everything that I saw,
rock people are meaner than rap fans any day of the week. Nobody's meaner than rock fans. Old 70s rock, you know, the meanest shit I ever fucking got was rock fans, bro.
Battle rap fans.
Because you can defend some shit at a lyrical level, and they're like harsh, but like rock fans expect you to know like the science of like how this arpeggio taps into the third harmony to create this kind of bullshit. Or like we did this Steely Dan review, but because Patreon Man paid me to do it. I didn't want to do it. We told them Patreon Man paid us to do it. And then we talked about their lyrics. Bro, it was Steely Dan's not about the lyrics. They admit it's nonsense. And I'm like, bro, I can't handle rock fans. I don't understand that shit. At least I understand why the hip-hop guy might not like me talking about rap. I understand that shit.
Yeah, it's a cop-out, though, I'm going to be honest. If you had a good, like, he shouldn't be talking because I don't like that.
No, there's so much nuance in all this shit, right? Like, I don't have an opposition at all to any white person enjoying hip hop, reviewing hip hop, right? I get more offended when like fucking white guy in Canada wants to try to tell me, the guy born and raised in the Bronx in the fucking 80s, what is or isn't hip hop, because I just so happen to like some commercial shit, because I'm not like stuck in this phase that he's stuck in, right? Of like pure hip hop only. And it's like, bro, I'm from here. Like, we like to party too, bro. Like, it's okay. You can take it.
You don't gotta listen to D Block 100% of the time.
You know what I'm saying? And so like I take like offense to that. You know what I'm saying? Like in general, to anybody who's like trying to like question my hip hop past, and it's just like,
I get that too. Mercy be clowning me for listening to Tyler the Creator. I love
what Tyler's brilliant, great, bro. Tyler's great.
I remember walking past the TV seeing Yonkers, the music video, because MTV Jams.
Is that the one with the cockroaches?
Yeah. So I'm sitting there watching it. I'm like, I just like the cinematography. I like the set. Yes. I like him just sitting there, black and white.
It's just white and dudes sitting there in shadows essentially for like almost a whole minute, and the song is what, like 3 minutes?
Yeah, I didn't know he hanged himself at the end until I saw it on YouTube. I just thought it ended.
Word.
I didn't even know that.
Facts. I was still watching videos back then also on like MTV Jams, I think it was. I forget what else was playing music videos back then. But the point
did Kick is like, did MTV like break off and have like its like whole reality TV show and then dedicate a bunch of hip hop shit to a particular channel?
213, bro. 213 MTV Jams. I don't know. It was just they just
did all. I don't think that it was only hip hop.
No. They did a lot.
It was a majority hip hop, because at that time already hip hop had already taken over the world, and we became the music of the world. The way that rock and roll was the music of the 70s and the 80s is the way that hip hop ended up becoming the music of the 90s till essentially now, right? And so, like, it was mostly hip hop they played on Jams, but it was just it was MTV's like, okay, we're back to having a channel dedicated to only music videos.
Okay.
Yeah.
And music video shows. And then everything on MTV was like fucking 16 and pregnant and fucking all their wild out shows.
And MTV2 just played those shows later.
Loving hip hop at that time. Like it might have been just beginning Love and Hip Hop around that time, or it was right before, when all the shows that led up to what birthed Love and Hip Hop were coming out around that time.
Yeah.
That's all we used to say. And he was like, all right, well, so back then you could listen to him, but how can you listen to him now? And I think he's great now.
Bro, he got bangers. He got bangers.
He got better.
He got a lot better.
I'm a fan of when rappers stop rapping and try something else. If it's done right, you know what I mean? Like, I'm always going to champion rappers stepping out of the box, because when I think about it, and I think about like even if you know what, this is part of why I wanted to have you on the show, because I watch y'all so much. I feel like I know it. So I feel like I know you and Mercy from watching y'all show so much.
That's cool. That's
and like knowing your opinions and shit. You know what I'm saying? So like I agree with a majority of all the shit both you guys say. It's just there's little places that we're not gonna agree in, that we deviate. And No Mercy, I agree with him on a lot of like hip hop shit and a lot of battle rap shit and stances in life, right? Like man, character, what you're made, your integrity and where that stands. You know what I'm saying? I stand with him on a lot of that shit, but then I also see him like very like opposed to like a lot of like just general, like I don't even know if he really enjoys fly nigga rap too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm a fan of all that shit, you know? And I'm a super huge fan of like when rappers like Biggie did it, like even if we stick to the greats and like that, like Biggie did it on Player Hater. Like Biggie stepped out of the box and was like, Player Hater.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I'm gonna fuck with this shit in my region and fuck with it in the way that I can. And Tyler, like his way of doing it is like, whoa, bro, like you reached Andre 3000, Love Below, CeeLo, Knowles, Barkley levels. Like it might be better than 808s.
That Call Me If You Get Lost came out ironically when I went to the woods. So that was on repeat. That album is incredible.
Do you smoke?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you try some? Have you ever tried shrooms?
Oh, of course.
Okay, so did you try shrooms? I'm pretty sure if you were unplugged, you also had.
Not
some
then. No.
Oh.
That was back in the day.
What?
Yeah. No.
You might have.
I did it.
You probably have a great experience doing.
I probably would
with some Tyler. Tyler's music now, like all the Igor shit, and until now, like
Flower Boy is dope. Wolf's still one of my favorites. I think just because my daughter was born around that time, so every time I hear that album play, it reminds me of her, obviously. So that's got a special place. But Flower Boy is dope. It's dope. And I like Igor. I like the sound of Igor a lot.
Yeah, I think he's a great.
I might not rock with the words, obviously, because he's singing about dudes, but I like the song. I mean,
I don't even really, 9 times out of 10, I don't even like that. I guess it's one of those things where like, hip hop sometimes like, and I mean, really, I don't know if it's that as much as it's just like, after a while, like a switch clicked in me and like, I stopped like being like the lyrics police. You know what I mean? Like, really, it became more about like the vibe of the whole
with
song.
The lyrics, bro.
And this is what I'm saying, bro. Like, if I grew up around this shit, you know what I'm saying?
You couldn't spit a 900 bars in freestyle. You just weren't New York, son. Y'all had a lot of stipulations for music.
Yeah, the rule. New York became the rule meisters. You know what I'm saying? Like the like we invented this. We're gonna tell you the way it gets done, okay? And it's just like, chill out, bro. Let people have some shit and do them. I don't want.
Yeah.
Like that's part of. I was just having a conversation this weekend about like my favorite scenes outside of like New York, or like talking about cities that I love. I'm like, my favorite like cities are like Houston and Oakland. Like I love them because the energy that they carry with them. It's so genuinely them. They don't care about doing hip hop like New York or doing anything like New York. Yeah. They're deep in their own shit. And
that's how I felt about the Bay with Mac Dre, Yuck Mouth, and all them. That's how I felt. They were turning up, and I love that music.
Yeah, and I love that, and that's why, like, I respect that shit more than I respect anything that is like too similar to general classic New York hip hop, because it's just like, we have New York hip hop. Like, everybody else should have their own. Like, New Orleans has their bounce, and Atlanta with the trap, and now Detroit with their fucking offbeat, onbeat,
it had to give me. It took me a minute to rock with it because I do now like Calico's WWF fire, like that song I love. I had to get used to it because I criticized Blueface when he came out for doing that, like rapping miles off.
It's a thing that
he's consistently offbeat though. So is that really offbeat?
It's not really offbeat though, right? Like it's one of those things where it's just like it's a bop that they go to, and they go to that bop no matter what's the beat. So it's like it is on beat. It's their beat. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
They're going on the one instead of going on the two, and in hip hop, that's just like what?
I like Buffalo since Buffalo got a sound finally because of Griselda. Right. I love, and I think because Canada can feel it because it's so the dark beats that they use Griselda, it's the greatest. Right. I love them because you could tell it's gritty. Buffalo gets cold. I mean, Canada gets cold, obviously. But I'm saying Buffalo gets cold, and it's that dark gray. You could because sometimes I see the music like colors almost. It sounds weird, right? But I see like that. Do you see it like that? Like something like
I mean,
you listen, like Flower Boy.
It's a
lot of yellow.
For me, it's a feeling.
A lot of
okay. I know what you mean.
Yeah. So sometimes I see
the feeling, and feelings have colors that I connotate to them. So it's the same thing essentially.
Yeah,
and I have a lot of friends that also say the same thing. Like, yo, I see it in colors. And I think that it's like the feeling, the vibe, the way that the sound sonically sound, it gives you, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
I just did an album that's very Latin vibes, and I waited from August last year to refine it so we could drop it June, July of this year, so we can have the whole summer, because it's a summer vibe.
Yeah.
And that's colors. Now I'm thinking pinks and light blues and yellows, and why? Because it's summer, and that's what you do, and you go, but like
I feel
up
like,
there,
music has like, it's like moods and shit. I don't know, but I get what you mean, in like some more like halluciny kind of way, almost like you can almost, in a certain state of mind, you just kind of almost have colors appearing in certain, or sometimes it's like when you can see almost like an aura on a person or some shit like that.
Yeah, that's how I feel when I'm listening. In some cases, not always, not always, but when you just get in the vibe and you just listen, I can see it as colors, and I see it a lot, warm tones, and like I go back. I think it started with Flower Boy. Like I can really feel like him. That color, I can see it. It's just weird. It's weird. I know.
No,
it's just people that love music,
Not weird.
Once you start loving music, that's what happens.
Music is mad deep. It's like some soul
it might be,
touching shit.
He might be, you're right though. Who you're talking to is like the future people and the audience that we have that maybe aren't, like their passion is podcasts about people's lives and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like they don't have like maybe the same passion, and like I said, the future audience that might not have the same passion, But like I think we definitely understand. Me and Holden both also make music. You know what I'm saying? So it's like once you're knee deep that much, you know what I'm saying? Like
even just like having certain times, you'll be like, especially if you are in some nature place or some shit and you're just kind of lost in your zone and you're having already some kind of metaphysical, spiritual shit going on in your body, and then the right song kicks in at the right sound, it just kind of has an energy to it, and maybe it's a blue. I don't even know what that means, but it's a blue or an orange.
It might be a blue. You never know.
I mean, look, the blues got named the blues, right? Because it was like the music and the fucking feeling of what they talking about, Like, I'm gonna talk about this fucked up shit that I'm dealing with and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's blue. Like
right.
We all felt that same feeling. So it's like it's not even like born with us. Like our parents and their parents, they handed them down blues. They didn't come up with blues on their own.
Right.
They got it from their parents and shit, you know?
Yo, but I have a question then. So let's say you found out you couldn't rap because you were surrounded by all kinds of good rappers in Buffalo, where I imagine it's probably tougher rap too. What happened after that for your passions? So you couldn't get beat machines and you couldn't rap. What does a teenage you end up deciding you want to do?
Bro, I was just gonna live, man. I was just gonna exist. I didn't know what I wanted to do. The only until 2020 when I decided to do this. This was when I decided I'm gonna stop just working. I'm gonna try to do something different in my life because I was just working the jobs, and then in 2017 I had caught a case, right? So going through that whole thing, lawyers, getting locked up, getting all that, I was done with it once I was done.
Right.
Everything was done. I was doing my probation. I was done. In back of my mind, I'm like, I got to do something different. I don't want to just go back and fall into, I'm just going to start working because the same thing might happen. Who knows? So I was like, I'm going to try to do something, but what can I do? I've always wanted to make videos. For some reason, I always wanted to make videos. And I wanted to do like commentary videos, like blogs almost, right?
Right.
But I didn't know what I wanted to talk about. And around that time, which is funny enough, like when I got into battle rap around 2014, I want to say. 2014 is when I got into battle rap. People hear and they hear me talk, they're like, oh, he knows what he's talking about, whatever, like when we get in debates or whatever on the show. But when I tell you that my first battle I ever watched was Joe Budden versus Hollow the Don, people get shocked. So they're like, what? That's so late in the game. Like, that's total slaughter. I never paid attention to anything. Never watched it, never nothing. Until I saw that. And someone just brought it up to me. It was like Joe Budden. I remember seeing the commercial, like Joe Budden battle rapping. That's weird. Didn't know who Hollow was, didn't know nothing. So I started watching it. I watched that event. And I saw Daylight dressed up as Spawn. I'm like, what is going on here? I was confused. So I started watching, and I watched that, and I'm like, yo, this Hollow the Don's kind of cool. So I go back. I'm like, I wonder if he had anything else. So I remember that in the interviews, they were talking about Loaded Lux. So I watched that one. I watched that twice in one night. And I'm like, yo,
Loaded Lux and who? And
Hollow?
Okay,
yeah. So now I'm going through, so then
that's
would recommend me something else. And then I found Arsenal. So I went back and watched everything Arsenal has done. Then I got the Grind Time. Then I saw Dutch. Then I saw, like, I started, like, doing all my homework. And I was, like, running through for a year of everything battle rap. Every day, watching it. I was, like, I was addicted to it. I couldn't stop. So that's how I got into it. And then I wanted to do a video. And I knew, I was like, yo, my breakout video, I'm going to diss Battle Truth. That's what I'm going to do.
Another blogger.
Scumbag. Blogger. You got to call it how it is. That's what he is. Scumbag. Dirtball. But.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about him, so I'm going to say.
Oh, you don't?
It's a hold on. Bro. No, we'll get
oh,
you
don't, do you? But anyway, I made that. I was like, I want to do that. So I got a Yeti Snowball microphone.
Shut up, the Yeti.
Yeti Snowball.
Shout out to the Snowball.
Right. And I was like, all right, I need a camera. So I got my sister-in-law had a camera. So I was like, I took this little, I don't even know what it was. It was nothing good. So I was like, I put it up. I'm like, all right, I need everyone out the house because I got to record this, right? So I record this, trash, right? Worst video ever. So I'm like, well, I don't know how to edit. So I get Final Cut Pro or whatever the free one was. No, Sony Vegas, it was free. It was a free Sony Vegas. So it was glitching and like barely edit, but I don't know how to edit. So now I'm like, all right. So now I'm looking on YouTube and studying how to do that. So I'm like, just to cut, like, I'm like, how do you split the parts for jump cuts and all that? So nothing. I'm starting from scratch. So by the time I learned how to cut, I put the video in. I sit back and watch it. I'm like, this is terrible. I'm not putting this out. I'm going to be embarrassed. The sound's terrible. The mic is trash. It was like $50, I think the snowball was back then. This is horrendous. And I was like, I clearly can't do this. This was back in 2016. Then the case happened and whatever. So then afterwards, I got into podcasting with Fresh. 2020, we're going on. And I still was like, I want to get into battle rap. I want to talk about battle rap. That's one of the things that like I got a passion for. And I'm like, well, what am I going to talk about?
Because the show with Fresh is
Low
more...
Lives.
Right.
Oh, yeah. We talk, we talk about everything.
General, yeah.
Yeah. Now, because he don't follow battle rap. He knows a little something like he'll try to talk to me about like Cassidy and Hitman. Hey, shut up. But bro, don't talk to me about that. The most popular one that time. Yo, did you catch it? You know I caught it. What are you talking about? Like, whatever. But so I knew I wanted to get into that, but I didn't know how I was gonna do it. And I wanted to go like I'll break down a situation. The first one at the video I dropped was when Charlie Clips and Biden, they had Hollow was going at him. So I like commentated over that. Like I had the running pictures in the background of like the clips from when they're talking and I was just talking. I took it down because after a while, because it was like, I didn't even agree with what I even was saying then. It was really just a test. And I watched it back. I'm like, no, this is bad. He shouldn't have never done this. What are you talking about? But so I took that down. But then I did another one with Kanye West, kind of similar when they were Joe Rogan. But that Hollowed It Down, when I had it up, was getting good reviews. It was like the highest viewed thing on my channel at that time. I think I had like 100 views. I was happy, thrilled. I'm like, oh, this is cool. The comments weren't bad or nothing. So I'm like, oh, they must have liked it. So then I did another one. Wasn't that good. It wasn't battle rap related. And then I did another one that wasn't battle rap related. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to go for it. That dude from 2016 said he wanted to make one on Battle Truth. So I dropped it. I dropped this. It was called the Character Nuke Battle Truth. That thing got like 1,000 views, right? Like everyone was like, oh, this is crazy. Oh, I love this, that, and the third. This is funny. And I was like, oh, this is perfect. This is maybe I should just do this. This is what I should do. I'll just keep, dissing people like this. But I was like, well, let's chill out. So I started researching a little more, and I found out about Adept. I had never heard of him at the time. Never heard of Adept. So I'm like hearing his name in these interviews I'm watching, because this is when I was all collecting mad clips. Because I don't know if you've seen it, but I literally, there's gameplay playing. I'm talking over it. It's like a commentary. I don't know if you ever seen them on YouTube, like commentary channels.
Yeah.
They'll cover like topics. They'll have the gameplay playing or whatever. So I took that model and I would cut in clips of him saying things and like whatever. I look back at it now, I don't like it, but that's just me. Because I've done two more of them that were like a lot better. But so I started looking when I was researching Battle Truth, like getting the clips or whatever. That's when I found out of Adept, and I had no clue who Adept was. Holden, you know who that is?
Nah.
Adept? Okay, he's a guy in battle rap that talks about conspiracy theories, the Illuminati, and all this other nonsense, right? He thinks everyone in battle rap's like worshiping the devil. Cool. So this is perfect content for me to go at. Of course, this guy thinks that Beasley's like Satan. That's great content. So I dropped the Character Nuke Adept one. And two things happened from this. One, this is where I met Mercy. And two, it's the first time I actually got people coming at me. Because I didn't know this. I thought it was going to be like Battle Truth. Like, oh, okay, yeah, you hate him too. I hate him. We're all friends. Let's laugh at him together. Not with Adept. No. And this is why I don't give my name out. Because the man has people that are psychotic that follow him. So I don't want nothing of me getting out, because I can't do nothing if he crosses the line with me. So that's why that's why I said we'll get to it. That's why I don't give my name out, to go back to that. But yeah, so I put that out. And that's when I first got like, oh, this is trash. This is whack. Why would you even do this? You don't know nothing. And then he actually responded to it. And then we ended up having a debate for like 5.5 hours. That was the first time I ever been on live stream together. Battle Truth showed up. We were all arguing, whatever. But Mercy, I added Mercy's part into that video because he was going at him. Now, I obviously know who No Mercy is. Trap. Like, come on. Don't staple a battle rap. You got to give him his credit. So, you know who No Mercy is. Right.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I know that they were going at it like a little bit, and I know he released some like private information, like a dep on Mercy. So I put it in my video, like, this is corny, you shouldn't have done this, blah blah blah. And Mercy had commented on that video and was like, "Yo, this is funny, whatever." And then got contacted me behind the scenes, was like, "Yo, you wanna let's do an interview together or whatever." This was after I had just debated a dep, so I'm like, "Yeah, cool." So that's when me and Mercy first linked. We were talking about that, and I think we may have covered an event that just happened, because he was like, "Oh, we can split the part. We'll talk about the video this time, but then we'll recap the event." And I think that was the test to see if I like how much I knew about battle rap, how closely I follow it or whatever. I think it is. I don't know. Never asked him, but I think that's what it was. So we were talking about that. We started, and then just how we kind of like clicked, bro. Like just how we were talking. This is our first time talking, and why we, sometimes you got the shy. You don't want to try to act cool. Everyone does it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that wasn't like with me and him. Like, so then we were like, "Yo, you want to come back and recap some more?" So I was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." So I pop up here and there, and during that time, that's when they started Let's Chop This Fable. I don't know if you want to jump that far. I'm just keep going. If you gotta, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all right. Cool. So we started doing that, doing the recaps and all that, and then Mercy and X started. I never had met X, and they started doing Let's Chop This Fable. They had started it, so I would do the recaps, and then but during the week, I don't even know what day they were doing it. They were doing Let's Chop This Fable, but I think at the time it was on KOTD. I think it started off on KOTD.
Yeah,
I'm not totally sure.
They, if I'm not mistaken, it was like they had their show streaming on their KOTD Twitch.
Yeah, I know, because that's when I showed up in that time. But I don't know if they started on YouTube, then went there. I'm not sure. Because I wasn't paying attention, because I was just doing the recaps with them, and that was fine with me. Because I like, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to talk about battle rap. I knew I couldn't just keep clowning everybody. It's just not gonna work. So this is my entrance into what I wanted to do, and they started doing the show. And when we were doing the recap, somewhere I don't know what happened, but he had just asked me. He was like, "Yo, you want to join the show?" And I was like, "Yeah, whatever, fine." Like, are you saying whatever? I wanted to do the podcast anyway, like a battle rap podcast. So cool, whatever. Let's go. Like I said, I never even talked to X. First time on camera, same thing. Like we just clicked. Like it was nothing, no acting different ways, just the same. We were just clicked. I don't know. It was weird. So we started doing the show there, and then on Twitch. But then we started getting like mad people coming in. Like we were getting more during the season that the KOTD had for the battle rap. We were getting like 225,000 views, like a stream. Had 13,000 people watching us live. For like not just popping in, dropping. Like bro, it was for like an hour and a half.
I was one of those people.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, word. Appreciate it.
I was in the audience.
Yeah, and we did like 1 million in a month, but it was like, I appreciate that look that they doing it, but I think it hurt because, and I think that show could have been on there, would have been great, but they have this thing where new people can't comment, they can't talk. Well, this is Twitch. That's part of the thing. That's part of Twitch, chatting in the. But you have to become a member.
I didn't ever subscribe to KOTD.
Yeah, so
I just followed the channel, but I didn't.
It's a monetization angle. You don't have to turn it on. But the other side of it is when you have 50,000 people watching, your chat is already stupid. It's not like it's not a chat
it's definitely
anymore.
I'm not mad at them for it. I understand why they did it. Like it makes sense to me, knowing the like back end business of shit like that, and knowing. And also knowing battle rap audience, like, yo, you know what? Make it if they want to talk shit, make them pay, yo.
Plus,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, yo, if you want to talk shit that bad, motherfucker, follow the motherfucking channel, subscribe and shit.
And then it's
I was just
got that
always
free
like,
Amazon Prime sub every month, so as long as you got Amazon Prime, somebody gets a free thing.
And a lot of people, usually everybody uses that. But so you were saying,
yeah. So we were doing the show there, and it was dope and whatever. And then we ended up doing another show over there called The Look Back, which specifically covered the season that KOTD was doing at the time. So we would just look back on that week's battles, and that was dope.
But I miss a lot of the live events on the weekends because I'm usually out on the weekends and shit. And I'm doing shit, you know. So it's just like I'll miss a lot of weekends.
You gotta be Littyyy, bro. You can't be Littyyy at the crib all day.
Can't be Littyyy
I feel no, I get it.
Can't be Littyyy at the crib.
And Saturday morning,
the weekends is bad for me. But then that's why recaps during the week and shit was just like, you know, or not on Saturday, you know. So yeah.
But going over there in my mind, I'm like, all right, but I'm not about to be, you're not about to just silence me because I'm over here and I can't say nothing about KOTD. So soon around that time we started that show, this whole thing with the judging mishap, like someone misjudged, like the judges did something wrong. I don't remember it, but so I'm like, all right, here we go. I'm gonna show you that I'm not. Yeah, I'm gonna show y'all that I'm not bought here. You can't tell me what to say. You can't tell me what to do. So I started going at him about like you shouldn't have done this, that, and the third.
Sly, did anybody actually tell you that you couldn't say what you wanted to say?
No one said nothing.
It was just yours.
It was just me in my mind thinking. I'm like, yo, they might think I'm bought. Nah, I gotta show them that I'm not. You can't tame this. You can't hold this down ever. Okay. But no, so we were doing it over there, doing shows, cool. But after a while, we were just like, let's just do it on our own. Like we got the Monster sponsorship, that was dope. Just to say that we were sponsored by Monster, that was cool. Got a little paper from that, and then we were just like, let's just go back to YouTube. We're all on YouTube. None of us are doing Twitch. I wanted to, but maybe in the future I will. I did a couple like playing the game or whatever because that's what I like doing. So I was doing that over there, but none of us are on Twitch really. We're all over on YouTube. Let's just do it on, and then that's where we're at now.
In battle rap, it's YouTube. That's where like a majority of the community is. Yeah. The battle rap community, for the most part, right? Like a lot of them will pay. A lot of them are good people, right? But then there's even more trash, and there's even more people that don't want to pay, and you know, you also need their viewership. You know, it counts. You know,
and we didn't want to get too deep in it because we knew it's gonna be like pulling teeth trying to get these people to come back over to YouTube. So we were just like, let's just do it now. We'll start where we're at, and we'll just go like that. But see, this is what like with battle rap, right? And I had to come to realize it with our show. That's why it's not. You'll go to Black Compass if you wanted to listen to like every word broke down crazy. Like you go to Caps, that's gonna do that. You go to Chris Unbound. You go to the staples. We're just gonna be just talking about everything over here. But like there's a battle rap podcast, but as you see, we might not talk about battle rap for the first hour. Might just sit there and clown Mercy for a couple of, half hour. You never know. Just because. Let's stop trying to be like the #1 battle rap podcast and just be a podcast that talks about battle rap. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's when like the switch flipped, like I would say like 26 episodes in, and I was just like, let's just not keep talking about it because it's 10 o'clock in the morning. I don't want to hear about the aggressive bar at 10 o'clock in the morning. Let's just first wake up. So then it just became like the first hour. Yeah. Like,
and I'm just so that I think that as a viewer, we all saw the change, and it was pretty obvious, but like in a perfectly good way. And like it was like, oh, like y'all hit a stride. This is it. You know what I'm saying? Like this is it more than everything that happened on KOTD, more than like even like the earlier episodes. It was like y'all realized it, and like the clowning is like fucking chef's kiss. Like it's fucking mortadella.
Because there's so many shows out here that everyone's just like, oh yeah, I like that too. Oh, you like it too? Yeah, me too. I like that. Yeah, I like. Yeah. And that's not how the real world is. People fight. People argue. Yes. People do not agree all the time.
Facts.
So that's not us. We're never, and especially not me. I never agree.
Honestly, I feel like you thrive on it just a little bit.
I was about to say, Sly.
Oh no.
It seems like you're the type that's like, wait.
How can I engineer this a little bit more?
I disagree on purpose. And
this is bothering you, bro? Let me take the next 20 minutes and run it still because I know I can get good.
But you know what? As a person, I do that
There's
myself,
sometimes
bro.
where I'll be like
when,
I just agree with it. I'm gonna fight with you anyway, bro.
yeah. Like if I see everybody going left, yo, I have to go right. I don't care if the journey is gonna be harder. I don't care if going left is the shortcut. I don't care. You're all going left. I gotta go right now.
Just to
Now
make
I
it,
gotta go right.
yeah.
It has to. I gotta be devil's advocate. I gotta propose the other side of the argument. I have to. I have to be the naysayer in the moment, just because if we're all just standing here and agreeing with each other, this is not gonna be like
It's corny.
like it's just not. I don't want it. I don't want to be a part of that conversation. I want to be part of like the friction and the like the arguing and the discussing, because that's where you actually get to. Sometimes I'm wrong, right? A lot of times I'm wrong, but we're not gonna get to like a place of me being wrong unless we go through the steps of what we're discussing and like the like multiple positions that you can't be taking in here. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you, bro. I don't like it. I don't like when everyone like, obviously some things you just can't. You can't fight. Of
course.
But if I can, I'll find a way.
Word.
I'll find a way to fight.
The energy comes off really it comes off really well on camera. And like the fun that y'all have with each other, it comes off really good. Holden was saying before, like, because we didn't catch up for the last couple weeks that we didn't do a show, we didn't get to catch up behind the scenes. We had caught up a couple weeks ago. He came into town, but like, so we hadn't caught up for a couple weeks. So like, leading up to this episode, I just didn't know, and I was doing an album release, so like I'm caught up in my own shit, and so like I didn't know how much homework Holden had did on you guys. So like when we get on the chat on Zoom before, he was just like, "Nah, I got drawn in, yo." Like, it's good.
Like the battle rap one was less. Like I watched a couple up. I was more into the Lolifes. I was like, nah, this shit's highly entertaining. This is some topical shit that I can follow a lot better.
I appreciate it. Yeah, that's like I said, because Fresh, you don't know no battle rap, so that's why this is what I'm doing right now. Is everything I wanted to do, and I'm glad that it's working out, and I'm glad that people like it a lot. Like, that's dope. Like you watching it like that, that's enough for me. That's I'm doing what I should be doing, and I'm good, and that's what makes me feel. Yeah. It's the greatest thing in the world, because it wasn't like all that. Like I cannot watch the old ones. That's how bad you talk like this, you know, like all soft spoken.
Exactly how that feels, man. No, I can't. Like sometimes people will be like, because we used to do album reviews, so trust, by 4 years deep, you did everything. You did all the albums. So then you start going, maybe we should react to our old videos. And then you think about that shit. You're like, I have to sit there and watch me sound like that. And you got to imagine all the terrible takes I had that I then have to watch. Oh my God. It sounds.
But you know what
it was like great content for somebody watching it, but terrible to make.
We had the same thing. We were like, yo, how about at the year, right? You do like a retrospective where we go back and watch all the watch a couple from the back. So we were like, all right, you know what? Let's just try it. Not record it. We were like, let's just try it. We started it. First of all, the intro was trash. I'm like, oh, this is not gonna be good. So then I think it was the first episode, and I was like, oh, I spit this corny, cringy rap, and I just like, nope, we're not doing it. Shut it down. Shut it down, boys. We're done. I can't watch this no more. And then I was like, all right, I'm gonna try it one more time. I'm gonna skip through maybe like episode 12. I'm like, I don't blame no one for not watching it, because I don't even want to watch it. But now, a whole different thing. I think,
but you know what's wild though?
I like how
is as much as I find I can't watch my content, but I could watch your content, and I would probably disagree with you. Like, I would probably be entertained by that, because it's like
I don't think that it's bad. I think that you are going to be your harshest critic if you're being honest with yourself, and that's good, right? Like, your fine-tooth comb going through it, and you're like, no, 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 no,
But
no,
like,
no, no, no,
but
no.
like, cause
But
yo, other
for
people
us,
like wildly watch the shit though. Like while I was hating it, people were giving me $5 a month here and there. So how is it like, how trash can it be if to that person it's what? So I'm going through all of that, watching it, being like, "This is garbage. I would never watch this." But other people would watch this. So now
I think they might.
That's like, you just gotta remember that, right? Like, you are probably not your audience because you live in that shit.
Yeah. And I feel like I could watch it and see how nervous I was. Because that first time, like, it's cool to talk about it. But when you turn these lights on, the camera's going, you got the mic in front, and it's just like, all right, have a conversation, go. You don't kind of freeze up the first time. Well, for me, I don't speak on me.
Nah, it was pretty awful at first. Because we were doing it with like 2-3 people, trying to find rhythms, trying to like, not cut each other off, not be shitheads about petty things in the middle of an episode.
I'm petty as shit.
Nah, it's just how it be.
Man. It happens.
And
sometimes,
then you grow and you get better. But yeah, on the other hand, I could never make a podcast that's as raw as that, so to speak. And people like, comment because your shit changes when you know things. And so there's almost like a charm to it that gets lost as you get better with your shit. So I'm certain your old content's wonderful to your fans.
Yeah, they might be. I don't know. To me, I don't even watch. I'll just tell you to watch from like 50 up. Forget about those other ones. Don't even, just act like they don't even exist. Horrendous. But I regardless, I love it. I love it. I love talking. And I found that out. I'm like, you know what? Me and him like argued at work all the time. And then I was like, yo, what happens if we just record it? Because I didn't even know him. I've only known him since 2020. Is that like we've been boys our whole life?
Right.
Just known him for a couple years.
You met him
at work.
Shit.
Yeah, and even at work.
Yeah, that's how it works with me and Holden. Like we met at work. You know what I mean? Like,
and me and him didn't even rock with each other like that at work. We didn't talk for months. We worked right next to each other, never talked for months. So to look back, because like this Saturday we have an award show. We got nominated for Podcast of the Year in Buffalo. So I appreciate it. Thank you. So the fact that even if we don't win, the fact that just
the fact that you're nominated, you're being recognized locally. Like people are like up on. That means that you know what that means. You know what that means. That means them Griselda boys probably tuned into the episode too.
I wish. I hope. And I would like one of them to pop up.
I'm not a fan of them. I got into arguments with them.
You're not a fan of Griselda, B?
But I respect
Flacko likes happy music, to be honest.
I'm a wild. I'm wild.
Oh, you're a Littyyy boy, bro. You like the club mix. Okay, you know what? I'll give you a pass. We have no choice.
Griselda be kind of dark, and then I'll be real with you. I don't even understand half the shit they say, and apparently I'm not supposed to.
I understand what they say.
They talk a lot of Buffalo.
Bro, but on top of that, I don't even know fuck all about fashion or sports. So it's like we already going in on some extra, I don't know fuck all.
Holden, I'm going to drop a bomb. I don't watch basketball. I rarely watch football. So when like on Sunday nights during playoffs on Twitter, I just shut it off because that's all I'd see. Yo, man, such and such did this. I don't watch none of it. I don't watch sports like that. That's just not me. I'll follow a little bit of football, but basketball, don't even watch it. So I get it. I'm not into sports either like that.
They got a lot of sports in there.
I've grown out of sports. I've grown out of sports like in the last, the last 6-7 years of my life. Really, it like became a gradual. It was also like man, my favorite shits is all losing and shit. Like, like I just got tired of it. My Yankees, I knew that they were going to be losing for like a long time. Like I saw this drought coming in 2012 and shit. And I was like, man, this is going to suck, bro. We're going to be trash for wild years, yo. And then LeBron got got enough chips that like, I could tell that he was going to keep on rebuilding phase, and then he kept on changing, and then he went to the Lakers, and it was just like, bro, like, I don't know when another chip is coming. When the last chip came, I was like, I was already tuned out of sports. Like, bro,
I'm from Buffalo. The Buffalo Bills, I mean,
caring.
trash is trash, bro.
Yeah, it's been rough for y'all. It's been rough for y'all. It's been rough.
I'm not even a fan of them. Why would you like someone that loses all the time? That's not a person you like. Okay,
it's not a person.
Montreal,
like.
That's not a person.
Montreal's just addicted to the Canadians, like, because we was good, and now we waiting to be good again. But they've not been good since '93 on the real. I mean, they've had like they haven't won since '93. So everybody be like,
for some reason, I could watch hockey. I could watch a lot of hockey. I don't know why.
It's an entertaining. It's
super entertaining.
It's entertaining.
I played lacrosse for a while.
That's an extra super entertaining.
Especially if you are in the audience. If you're in the audience, probably one of the most fun, right?
Yo, hockey's wild to watch live. I don't know about everywhere, but Montreal makes it feel like you're at some fucking next level. I want to go
there. I've seen it. I've seen that before. Yo, y'all turn up. That in Toronto. Look like y'all go crazy.
Yeah, it's a big deal because we don't got the other sports. I mean, we sort of got a basketball team in a Canadian league this year, and it started. So, like, I guess as of this year, we have a Canadian professional basketball team. It's the league J. Cole's in. They put J. Cole's name in the fucking title. So J. Cole was playing basketball in Montreal a couple of weeks ago.
That don't count. Do not be fooled.
Let me tell you, bro.
We have the Brooklyn Cyclones and the fucking and the Staten Island Yankees. And let me tell you something. That don't count. Like, don't nobody count like the minor league team. Like that's like it's not
even like minor. This is just a Canadian league to be like next to the NBA.
Damn, son.
They got a dope farm league, bro.
That's not even D league.
No.
I don't want to like hate because I don't know. They be taking it seriously. I know tickets is $20 Canadian, and I could afford that shit. And I'm like thinking I should go to that before it gets mad expensive, so I could be like, yo, I was there at that first season.
You represented from the beginning, man. You gotta show love. So y'all like have to like Drake, or what? How's it work up there?
Yo, if anything, I think people like. Okay, so your average person that's not involved in any of the music scenes or whatever, that's not a hip hop head, they just like Drake because Drake is mass exposed. But like when you really get into the hip hop circles, people who like music like Drake, and it's really cool to hate Drake because he's like the cool kid, right? So like people,
he's the guy.
People wildly like to hate him, and then low key are fans. Is my perception.
I have never met a person that's not a fan of Drake.
I've met.
They say they're not, but they got Drake in their phone.
Facts.
I don't like. Yeah.
But they'll like publicly make fun of Drake. It's like it's really cool to make fun of him.
Yeah.
Even you'll still hear Degrassi jokes to this day. But like, but like I don't know.
Jokes.
I used to be like,
jokes.
Really, I
he
didn't.
He still gets Canada jokes. He still gets.
Like I didn't understand his music at first, but then I heard Scorpion, and we did the album review for Scorpion, and that shit fucked me up. To me, it's one of the greatest double disc projects. You know, it's just so well made, and then it's like you start thinking about it, and I was just mad at music girls liked, and so then you just kind of like, and I think a lot of people up here are just mad at music girls like. I don't know why, because Nickelback also took it really bad because their girlfriends liked it. So like. If like it's true though, go to a Nickelback show, bro. They was band of the decade and it was women across the board. It was the same shit. Yeah. Black Eyed Peas, fucking LMFAO, bro. Women were all over that shit. Men was mad hating. So I think once you can get over that, because you want to be where the women are at, then all of a sudden Drake is amazing. Because what situation is putting Drake on around a girl gonna hurt your situation?
He makes too much music that's like for somebody. Like he's got the London drill. He's got American drill.
No, he doesn't. He does everything.
Dance hall.
He does everything.
That's mad Canadian of him. Super Afro Canadian of him.
R&B, rap.
Yeah, he does everything.
And then once we're in rap, he does all the raps. He'll do the boom bap classic New York rap on some 4 a.m. in Toronto or fucking 6 p.m. in fucking Albuquerque or some shit, right? And then he'll fucking do the fabulous R&B rap, but like he's covering both parts, the singing and the fucking rapping part. And then he does the fucking like the Texas fucking chopped and screwed slow down sound. He does the fucking Memphis bounce sound. He does everything. Like he does the West Coast sound. He doesn't let himself be boxed in.
Right, that's a fact. I didn't like Drake when I first saw him. Like the best I ever had. I'm like, this is corny. It's not gonna last. I didn't like Drake until Take Care, and I listened to a song of I think it was Headlines. I first heard Headlines in the club or whatever.
Headlines was everywhere.
Like, yeah, facts. So I'm listening to it, and I'm like, yo, I kind of like this. Like maybe it was just a setting that was it. Yeah, that I'm hearing that. I'm like, oh, who is this? And it's like it's Drake. I'm like, what? Because I totally shut it off. I heard that one song. I was done. I don't want to listen to Drake. So I listened to that. So I went home, downloaded the whole album, and I listened to it from top to bottom. And I was like, yo, from Over My Dead Body to the end. I'm like, yo, this album's pretty dope. So I told my boy, I'm like, yo, you gotta check this out. I'm not listening to that trash. He's singing about the girl. I'm like, yo, just turn. I'm telling you, put it on. And ever since then, mad Drake fan. Like, I remember I saw Drake in concert. I left because I didn't like. I'm not watching this. Why would I want to watch this? And this before I even heard Take Care. He was there. I think it was like they came to Buffalo. It was like Wayne was here, 2 Chainz, whatever. And I'm like, everyone was like, oh, Drake was headlining. And we left because we don't listen to this. We don't listen to Drake. But now, I could say honestly, never mind. It's kind of trash though. But everything else, all right. Scorpion, I like the R&B side more than I like the rap side.
Yeah,
I feel the same way. I like the second disc more than I like the first disc. Even though I really like the first disc.
There's bangers on that.
There's a lot of
bangers.
I just like the second because I like I like when he sings. People don't like his singing. I like his singing.
Yeah, I like it. Because I don't know. I feel like it was like I got older and then I started to embrace different kinds of music, mostly because of the album reviews. You start learning, I guess, jazz, this, that, the next thing, and then you start realizing that like not everything has to be hard. Because for a minute I was going through them phases where it almost had to be a Griselda or some other underground sounding shit, or I wasn't interested. But then all of a sudden, I don't know, maybe my attitude changed, but beautiful music in the sense of singing and all of that harmonizing, it just got nice. It just started sounding good, and then all of a sudden you realize Drake been doing it good the whole time, and I was just being a hater. And then. Everything he's. I mean, I'm not necessarily like a fan of every song he puts out. I basically skipped Certified Lover Boy. It was like fine for me.
That was horrendous as well. That was just a bad time.
But I really enjoyed the last one a lot.
This last one, honestly, never mind the techno house music.
I really liked it.
You like it too, Littyyy?
Yo, all I've been listening to this summer is our album and that shit.
Bro, you gotta understand, Montreal is a very EDM city. So, like, everybody has some dance shit on their playlist, if we're being honest, in my city. Raves are the biggest shit right now. Everybody's surrounded by EDM remixes. And, like, end of the day, like, I be out at places dancing a lot lately. So, dancing became a bigger priority of my life. Like, I be trying to turn up in that way. And once you start doing that, bro, like, when I was in Brooklyn, bro, they played the Drake album because it had just dropped. It was great, bro, to be drunk dancing to this fucking album. Like, it was just, and the girls around and shit doing their thing. Everybody was just, doing their thing. And it was like, this is the right vibe for Drake. It's not necessarily sit at home with headphones on or bop around in the car with, it's not that. It's like, you kind of have to be, like, in a place where you want to be having fun for that project to make sense.
Yeah. So I can tell you guys that New York, right, like the last few years, like as drill took over from in Brooklyn years ago, right? But like slowly I heard the progression because like my neighborhood is like essentially you watch Super Wario on YouTube, or you aware of Super Wario? Okay, so like it's like the YouTube channel. He like covers all the like gang shit that happens in New York City. And like you know what I mean? And like he does a respectable job though. Like I will give him that. Like he doesn't talk down on what's happening. And I could tell that it's probably somebody who's from, you know what I mean, the streets out here and is entrenched, you know what I mean? But like a lot of the shit that they cover on there is like shit from my neighborhood. You know what I mean? So like my neighborhood is like a particular neighborhood, but like I live on a dead end block in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
And it makes it even more lit. And like across the last like 4 or 5 years, like I've heard the like music go from like, you know, whatever was of the moment to like it was starting to be like a lot of like dance shit, like fucking Diplo and fucking J Balvin and like that shit playing in the hood. And like I started seeing a lot of fucking like like house music, like the honestly never mind type of vibe shit, popping up more and more all over the city. Like, but young people, like not even like, you know, just my age group, like, but like my age group also, right? Like doing it. So like I felt it like, yo, it's getting, you know, like dance time again, I think. I think people just wanna, you know,
Especially
like
we've been
there's
locked up
cycles
for
in life if you
years,
pay
bro.
attention and shit. Yeah. That's the other reason, like, especially with like the fucking COVID
Pandemic.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, it's
Like
like
a lot of people really are still like, you know, scared and shit. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of people in America that are like really like living very cautiously.
but
You
the
know what I'm
other
saying?
side of
Like
it, motherfuckers up in my city be trying to fuck. That's what everybody be trying to do. You watch it out, like people be like, everybody's either like with their partner or like low key loving the attention as they say no. Like everybody, because we've been thirsting for it. They had curfews up in my shit, bro. Like it was like real lockdowns over here for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So after 2 years, as of the spring, so now it's like, let's be real. At the end of the day, you kind of want to go where the girls is at, and the girls want to be going where the dancing's at. And so on the one side of the city, it's calypso, and on the other side of the city, it's EDM.
you know
Yeah,
what though?
I can see that album's gonna blow up overseas and in the club scene. I can totally
Yeah,
recognize that. I
yeah.
only
I
like the
mean,
last song. That's the one.
word. Nah, yeah, the 21 Savage.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
you know, Drake always, right? Like, look, he always hits certain marks that, like, I think that what ended up happening with that album was that there was no notice that it was coming. And then the 24-hour notice that we got was just the title and a cover. And I think that the overall culture was like, oh shit, we're about to finally get like the Drake Illmatic album. This nigga gonna rap to a whole album. It's called Honestly Nevermind. He's gonna be barring out, son.
Yeah,
And
because
when
the
they
last
turned
time he
that
dropped
motherfucker,
something secret was, what was it? If you're reading this, is too
the
late.
the dark, yeah, yeah,
And he left her. I mean, that was a dope. That was a dope mixtape too.
or the Dark Lanes,
Oh
demo and
yeah,
shit.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
I
but
mean,
yeah.
but so you know, like I think that everybody got an anticipation up for like a Drake all rap album,
And
and when we got a fucking dance album, motherfucker was like, "What the fuck is this?
Raggy.
I can't get jiggy to
Yeah.
this shit."
I woke up. I rolled out the bed. I was
But
getting ready
that
for
21
work.
Savage track, you can get jiggy to. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right.
Like
I
that's the
put that
most
on. I'm like,
club
maybe it's just
dancey
the title
version
track.
of the hip hop shit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I was not
Yeah.
expecting it.
but like I fucks with the EDMs just separate. I fucks with the house. Like just I enjoy that music. So for me, it was like, I mean, if I'm looking at it
Yeah,
like
me too.
Drake's a rapper, then absolutely get you. On the other hand, I'd be listening to Your Pussy is calling my name. Like that shit's a
I kind of
banger.
like that,
Like
Jim.
I'm just saying,
I kind
like
of like that.
that's my anthem right now. I'm like, bro, it's
Yeah,
like the
yo,
second a
that
girl
shit is.
gives you that look, you're like, oh shit, your pussy's
I
calling
knew
my
that.
name.
Yeah, I knew that. As soon as I heard that one, I was like, "Yo, how are the motherfuckers not gonna fuck with this?" Like,
I watched the
my
music
man,
video.
he just said, like the lines that we should all be feeling with like women, like.
Nah, I
You know
watched
what
the
time it is,
Falling
baby.
Back music video and they played that song when they were in the dancing or whatever. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like this jump. I kind of like
Yeah,
it.
nah. If you, I think it's about right. Like it's like the same thing with like what we were talking about earlier with like places, right? So like Oakland and like Detroit, maybe even taking a second, right? Like for you to get like adjusted to it and fuck with it, right? But like if you were in Detroit, you'd be knee deep in it. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes what it takes is like being around the culture of it. You know what I
Facts.
mean? Like I remember being like when Cash Money first came out, right? Like I was fresh out of like I was in high school or fresh out of high school and I was street teaming already in the music industry. And so like we were like putting up poster boards, stickers, shit like that. Parking outside the concert, giving out CDs and T-shirts and shit. We were those guys. And so we ended up promoting Cash Money, and so we ended up going down to New Orleans in the van, and like being in New Orleans and like blaring fucking Juvie 500 Degrees when the album just finished dropping in New Orleans. Like the energy was just so like, I love this. How can I not love this, yo? Like it's us. We're having a good time. Like they're just doing something different. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
like it's hard within itself too if you like don't judge it by like New York City hip hop standards. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't judge everything by
Nah,
like
it's
the
not
same
even. I
standards.
wouldn't even put it
And
in like
sometimes
hip
when you
hop.
get to enjoy, yeah, no, I mean, but even then, Drake has a lot of hip hop and he's rapping a lot on this fucking album. Like he's rapping, like he's rapping shit on a lot of these fucking house tracks. So it
It's
is still
super
hip
lit.
hop. Like whenever,
It's
I'm
one.
gonna
whenever
have to
you're
listen to it.
Like
Like
whenever you're
I'm gonna
rapping,
really listen to it. I've listened to
yo,
it, but
to
I
me,
wanna.
it's like a wild, like a story. Like he's doing his heartbreak thing. He be trying to figure out love in this world. He be bringing you through a whole ass night. I mean, but I go pretty deep because I do this album review shit. So at a certain point,
Yeah.
albums become like movies to you. And so, like to
Yep.
me, there's a whole ass movie in this project that makes sense when you like run it.
So
And like,
Good Kid,
I
Mad
would.
City must be a fire movie, and
yo, Good
listen
Kid,
to it.
Oh
Mad
no,
City.
that's the
That's like
illest fucking.
it's one of the
That's a
nicest
really good movie for
concept
LA, yo.
albums put
That's a
together.
classic LA movie.
Cause yo,
Yo.
that album is like littered with Easter egg references to like tracks before that you're not gonna catch unless you're paying
Yeah.
attention for it, and it's not even in order, so you have to
If
like
you don't
piece the
know,
time together. It's fucked up. It's a
Yeah,
great album.
it is. It is. It is. I like. I listened to it for
nah,
the first time.
that's my favorite Kendrick album. Like
That one
if
is.
like
See, mine's To
yeah,
Pimp a
yeah,
Butterfly.
yeah.
Pimp a
Nah,
Butterfly is my
that
favorite.
one's it for me
Pimp a
because
Butterfly good too.
it was just it's those are he hasn't dropped the trash album, right?
That's a fact.
Like same as Kanye, like I feel. But you know what I mean? I just feel like the the moment that he captured on Good Kid Mad City was just like an energy that he'll never be able to recreate. We all got fucking the privilege to be there for it, you know what I mean? And it was just like he perfected the album concept album movie thing. You know what I mean? Like the only other things that came close to that are like other super classic albums like Lupe's The Cool and like certain like concept albums that really hit the mark. Like he hit a home run with that shit.
Yo,
Like a
it's brilliant.
forever hip hop classic. You know what I mean? What he did with To Pimp a Butterfly and all those other albums was also classic in its own way. You know what I'm saying? It's
I
just that
think
to
because
me,
everyone expected after Good Kid it was gonna be like the craziest thing after, and then you drop the
mm-hmm.
Pimp a Butterfly, which is '80s West Coast funky tracks. That I love that sound. That's like raw air. I love all that.
Yeah,
It's
So
like,
yeah,
but it went from like speaking for his hood to speaking for everyone that he connects to. It
yep.
got
yeah,
so much bigger. And then that got too big, and that's where you got Dam. So now it's about his battle with his ego, which then led to the
Yeah.
last one, which was just his therapy sessions about battling his ego.
Yeah, I remember I that same way. Yo, Kendrick's dropping. I woke up. As soon as I didn't even brush the teeth, he had rolled up, put the headphones in. Yep, we got to listen to Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. We've been waiting years for this. I put it on. I put the first one on. I'm like, okay. Put the second one on. I'm like, whoa, what? I wasn't expecting it. So then I'm like, I ran through it. I'm like, I don't know about this. So I went to work. I played it again. I think I listened to it 4 times that day. And I'm like, nah, this album's incredible. This album's actually really good.
Drake and Kendrick and J. Cole have reached a level with their work and their craftsmanship that, like, I think it's like we put them under unfair scrutiny. You know what I'm saying? Like we're like they can't do the things we expect them to do anymore, right? Like, because that would be like probably grueling for them. That would be what their generation was meant to do, which is break that mold and step out of the, like, yo, we don't have to be boxed in anymore. We don't have to like thank you to all the 90s rappers and the early 2000s rappers for what they did. They paved the way for Drake, Kendrick, and Cole to like be able to experiment for a whole album and like get paid doing it. You know what I mean?
But like,
and change the industry to like no more like, yo, we don't have to feed you singles. You have to absorb my art and decide what you want to play on the radio if that's what you're gonna do. But like, we're just gonna keep on making what we want to make, ideally, artistically, and not catering to the radio. Now the radio is catering to them, and so like it's hard at that point as an artist to like satisfy everybody all at once with every album. But it's also like, you know what I'm saying?
They be making albums where, like you said, 4 times it took you to listen to it in order for it to like even click that it was good. And yo, sometimes it be like that with albums. Like, I don't know about the last J. Cole project, but I know that the last Lupe one, the last Drake one, all of them, if I hadn't listened to them 3-4 times before talking about them on camera, I would have had a very different review. Because it's not like sticky single. N95, that's a great song. But like,
it is.
The rest of the album, though, they are meant to be like consumed as album pieces. Because like half these songs I would never listen to, but yo, when you put the album on, you have to listen to them in this particular order. And I don't think a lot of people who would criticize it as whack or not necessarily be into it really are willing to go listen to it 4 or 5 times. And maybe that's the cost of making this kind of art. But at the end of the day,
it's the cost of living in this era. That's what it is. It's just the era that we live in.
But everything wants it real quick.
That everything is quick. And it's because the people complain about it, but it's also the people that are causing it. Yeah. And like the mass consumption and the constant drive, like artists complain about it all the time because I watch a lot of interviews. I love watching interviews because I love educating myself through other people's experiences. And artists are constantly talking about like, yo, I just dropped some shit. And like, I got fans on Twitter, like, when you dropping some new shit.
Yeah.
like what? I just dropped some shit. What do you mean? Like, yo, it's literally right there. Go to Apple, go to Spotify, go to whatever you go to and consume it. But the fans are like consuming and spitting out and like putting out an album review the day the album comes out, like 2 hours after it comes out.
Which
like,
is crazy.
Yo, but it's pretty good. It's
SEO, baby. It's a race to
SEO,
like
baby.
the first. Yeah,
yo, I'm telling you, one time Google put me in a good thing. I got 8,000 views out of nowhere, bro, just because Google saw the length of my review on the second Busta Rhymes ELE one. All of a sudden, I'm on page 1 when people are searching for the album. It got me 8,000 fucking views, bro.
There you go.
And that's why people do it, because you're chasing that demon forever, and then you realize you can't trick Google, and then you have to get over yourself. But that's what happens. Something happens.
Because you know what? Yeah, you run and get those quick views because you were the first one up, but they watch that trash review. They never come back. Never come back. So you get that. Well, go ahead.
Or
I don't know if it was a trash review, but they came in thinking it was the full. But to your point, they thought they were clicking on the full-ass album, and were mad disappointed to see my face. So they thought they was
I'm not talking about your review.
But
I'm talking about
then
people that like just
these
rush
people
it,
ain't
like,
coming back still. So to your point, you're not getting anything out of it but some views, and then you're like, damn, the average watch time is a minute, bro. It's a 90-minute video.
The retention, terrible. I remember, this is the worst mistake I made, and I'm still struggling for it. 6ix9ine dropped, he was on the yacht, and I don't know if you saw the clip. It was like a minute long, and it was, not Lil Boosie, what's his name? Lil Reese, right? He pulled a gun out on 6ix9ine on the boat when 6ix9ine was on IG Live. He pulled his gun out and like flashed it to the camera with 6ix9ine. I clipped it because I forgot to add it into a clip or into an episode. So I was like, I'll just put the clip up regular, just on the channel, whatever. I left to go to Florida. I came back. It was like 10,000 views. Then it was like 11,000. It shot all the way up to over 1 million views on this.
Because everybody thought it was the actual.
No, it was. It was the actual clip of the happening. It had nothing to do with me. I wasn't even in it. It was just a clip of that because I forgot to put it in the clip that I was talking about on the podcast. So I just put it up, just the raw footage of it, just so people could see it. That's all. I did it. So it shot up. I got we went over 1,000 subscribers in like a night one time, and when we were in New York City. But nothing else was moving. It was literally just this video that was getting all these. So all these subscribers were just flying in, but no one's watching anything else. But then I got rid of it. I deleted it. So now my channel shows millions of views dropping off in a second. And it like kicked us out of the algorithm for the longest. Like, oh, this channel, no one watches it. It lost millions of views in a second. But there was no choice. I had no choice. I couldn't monetize the channel at all with that clip being there because you don't monetize reused content or whatever. So I had no choice but to delete it.
Wow.
So I'm still struggling with this thing now. Now,
algorithm hell is a bad place to be. I switched from album reviews to interviews, cold turkey. And YouTube was like, go fuck yourself, bro. I don't know what to do with your channel anymore. And now it doesn't even want to give me anything for the reviews when we do them.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, that's because I see it all the time. Like, we'll be putting out a clip about something that just happened. But a podcast is different. We talk about a bunch. You might not see that conversation that just popped up. But then I'd be watching people, like, something crazy would happen. They'll report on it in 2 seconds. And they'll just be like talking monotone, not giving any information, just reading the random article that you just saw, and then be like, yeah, so that's it, just to hit it. Yeah, no work, just to be the first one. That's why I'd be like, this is trash. So, but people only want to hear the news. They don't care who's giving it to you at that time.
Right.
They just want to hear it.
If the guy can deliver it in a way that they like, but wow.
Yeah. But you'll see from us that we'll give you the whole. We'll talk about it, and like what we were talking about when that whole Jessica Reed with Charlamagne thing popped back up. I contacted Jessica Reed's mom, and she sent me the paperwork from Charlamagne, so we put it up. But this was 3-4 days after everyone already was talking about it. But I feel like we should still not just run through this. This is some things you gotta.
Something different too. You're not worried about being first.
No,
you're more concerned with giving a quality product.
And it's got to be like entertaining too, like to watch. That's the two. Right. I want to make sure you get what you get, but it's got to also. If I don't laugh, I'm not putting it up. That's what we stand by. You know?
Yo, the thing is, though, is a lot of them, like, people who read the news and shit, like, unless they're Anthony Fantano, their shit doesn't last. They might get a little buzz for a minute, but these people burn out, you know? Like, like, you have your big players, like your top 10 mojos and shit, who somehow still exist and still do very well.
I cannot believe it. Bro, there's only so many top 10s you can do in this world.
But no, bro, they got like 15 channels now.
I'm subscribed to Mojo World.
There's Mojo Moms, Mojo Sports, Mojo this, Mojo that.
Because it's good. I travel a
Mojo turned
lot.
into a network.
Bro,
Travel a lot,
Mojo's
so like for
big,
me,
big.
it's like, yo, I could tune into the one that's giving me like cool like ideas for like vacation destinations and shit. You know what I'm
What?
saying? Like,
They're not just
so
doing
like,
top 10 movie
No,
scenes.
they're
Like,
top
nah,
10
yeah, it's like top 10.
everything, bro. Whatever you
Yeah,
can, because and if you haven't thought of
oh,
it, their SEO people are gonna be like, all right, bro, we gotta have a top 10 Mojo fucking home appliances, and it will get there. Because why wouldn't it?
yeah.
yeah. Because
There's someone that watches it.
the one that I'm tuned into is just top 10 like vacation destinations in the top 10 beaches, the
I
top
guess
10,
I'm a
like
I'm a OG Mojoer, man. I was
yeah,
just
yeah,
top
yeah, nah, I
10
know.
movie scenes, top 10
Movies.
controversial
Yeah, yeah.
films. That's me.
Nah,
Yeah, yeah,
I'm back then,
movies
and
at
then you
first.
like watched it for a while, and then you realize it's what it is, and then, I mean, the thing is the content farm people they work because they have like 50,000 channels, so they can afford to do some shit that you can't do. Like my homeboy works
Yeah.
for the people who own the richest and a few of these other sites, and like, so you like yo that business wildly only works at scale, and then you got like your people who do the reaction shit, which is fine if you can react, you can react. I can't do it live. I don't like it because I say dumb shit, and I gotta have
Yep.
that finesse a little bit more than that for reactions. It's not my favorite. And then I don't know, man. Like the podcasting, I think it works better on Twitch. I don't know about YouTube Live though. I haven't really fucked a lot with it, so maybe it works good on YouTube Live. But I see it like as a real Twitch play these days, because that's where motherfuckers be like hanging out with you. Like they just sit there for like 4 hours and they just want to hang out with you while you guys talk about
But
shit.
that's how it is. Yeah, for like YouTube, I like it. The Twitch I like because you got more tools like for chat and stuff on Twitch than you do on YouTube. But I see it. I just like because I never was doing. We were just the recording. We never did the lives or whatever. And I kind of like going live just to have that conversation. But like you said, the reacting, I've done it. I don't really like it. I don't like just sitting back watching someone else's. Like I don't know. I'll play the game. I'll play a game and we'll talk and have a conversation doing that. That's fine. But sitting there watching someone else's video, it's just not. Because I've done it. I've spent 30, 40 hours on editing. And just for someone just to sit back and be like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Like, just give terrible reactions to it. I'm not with it. That's just me. That's just my opinion.
Yo, what kind of stuff do you play? Like from games? Like what games?
Oh, Call of Duty. I'm playing God of War right now. Cuphead. That's my game, man. Cuphead? That's it. Pretty much just Call of Duty and like any first person shooters. And I like, like Uncharted, like God of War, those type. Last of Us 2, Last of Us, those, That's usually what I'll play.
Yeah, shit would work on Twitch. Talk shit about battle rap while playing Last of Us 2.
I know it, right? I don't know. I want to. I was for a while. We were playing we would run Warzone live. That was dope. I would do those after the show. So we would film for 2 hours, or we would record for 2 hours live on Twitch. And since I was already there, I would stream for another 2 hours afterwards, just playing the game. Whoever wanted to jump in would jump in. I was doing that for a while, but then kids, man, and waking up at night. I'm like, it's over at that time. So I was like, all right, forget it,
That's fair.
But,
I don't know what the parent life is like, but the second a parent says kids, I'm like, chances are what they're saying is very valid, and they really can't.
Because they wake up, they start screaming, then it's at night, you don't know what's going on, you're downstairs, so now you gotta run up. Like, it just couldn't work out. I want to get back into it. I always say, like, all right, how about we try streaming again? But I can never find time now, and
yeah, you're already knee deep in what you're doing too.
Constantly.
You know what I mean? Like that. It's more important to keep the focus.
Yeah.
Where like you're seeing the success and you're seeing like you're seeing the fruits of your labor.
Yeah, I do want to, but it's not gonna work right now. I'm doing too much.
Too much. And then
right.
inevitably,
yeah, you'll probably end up getting into a rhythm with it, and then once you get that rhythm, you'll have the space and time and the bandwidth to like get that done too.
No, that makes a lot of sense. So like, what are you up to? So you do the 2 podcasts now?
Yeah.
Are you up to anything else that you are pushing?
Doing the podcast, and we're starting. Well, we had done. Me and Fresh did a show. Well, we did an episode. It was called Black Eyes Try, right? Black Eyes Try. We did these like super. It was like 12 million Scoville unit hot peanuts or whatever challenge or whatever. We did that, and when we made it, people liked it. So then we were like, well, how about we just do a series of like we just do random things, not just trying things, but we go like ghost hunting, and we just record and see what happens.
Bro, my
like
girlfriend
that.
would watch the shit out of that.
So we did on one podcast. I don't know which one it was or where it is, but we did go to like this haunted road, and we were trying to catch a ghost. We thought we may have caught a ghost, but who knows? So lately we've been talking about starting that back up, because then we just stopped. So besides the podcast, I do that. I bowl weekly.
Yo, that's dope, though.
Actually dope.
Bowl in the league.
Oh, that's dope.
That's pretty much. And then if I'm not, I'm editing. I'm in this basement a lot of the time. If I'm not at work at night, I'm down here, and that's it. That's the life. I feel like you got to work an hour a day. And I heard it. I don't know who I heard it from, but I was like, that's how I know I'm gonna stick with it, if I at least do it for an hour a day. Facts. So I'm down here a lot at night.
You end up doing more than an hour because you're like, I'm already here. May as well.
Yeah. I've done them. I've the longest like video that took me, I think it was like 50 hours long, and that was that character Nubia Adept, with all the editing, recording, script writing, all that. Yep.
Yeah, some real YouTuber shit. But I'm not even gonna lie, the name makes me want to click on it. Bro, I be watching them character assassination videos. I'm so fascinated by how YouTubers logically construct arguments about the destruction of people based solely on their content and public personas. It is so fascinating to me.
It is. I like it. That's why I took that. I saw it a lot, and I'm like, yo, I kind of like how they just be like really breaking down, but I didn't know how they were doing it. I literally was like, all right, this is what I'm going to work on. I'll watch everything you've done. So I might not write a word down for a month, because I'm just watching everything you did. And then like in my head, and I'll start running through like, okay, I can say this about that in my head. So I'll do this for like weeks, and it would just be like, oh, that's a good one. I'll have notes. I might still have some on my phone of timestamps of every crazy thing that you said. And so I'll mark some like, oh, I could probably make a joke about that. Oh, that's funny. I could probably do that. I could use that. And then I'll just pull up everything I have, and then I'll have to go through and find every clip of everything you said, and load all that up. Once I got all the clips, then I'll start writing, and that might take a month. That might take a couple weeks to write, because I'm not just sitting here the whole time doing it. I'll take a break. I might write a couple words, and that's just. So these videos you might just see it for months, but I'm working on it the whole time.
Yeah, the whole time.
Yeah,
working on it. Yeah.
It's a wild thought to know that people do that shit. Where like, I mean, I watch the videos, so I know people do it, but it's just like to hear you break it down so methodologically, whatever. That's a wild.
Methodically, I feel you, bro. It happens.
Yeah. It's just like the thought, man. It's like, yo, man, somebody gonna do that to you one day too, right? Because people,
it's happened.
As you grow, right? That's the next step. Is that next guy is gonna start watching out yo shit, and then check this timestamp at this moment. Yo, world's fucking crazy. But
and I don't even remember what I said back in the day, so I might have said the craziest things, and my career is done in a second because you got me. You clipped me.
Bro, it's all about the apology.
I'm not apologizing. I've already
acknowledgement.
If I said it, I'm not apologizing.
It's all about what you do after this shit, bro. That's what really gets you in trouble. So as long as you don't do the fake apology,
I can't.
You're probably good.
I said it. I'm not gonna apologize because you found it. Nah, I said it, and I'm gonna be like, listen, I'm sorry. That's as much as you're gonna get.
Bro, that's all you need. That's it.
No. Apology videos is the crying.
Oh, nah, you don't do
Oh,
that
I
shit.
learned from
Nah,
my
you just need
mistake.
your
That's what I'm
one off. Like, listen, I was young.
Yeah, fuck that
I'm
shit.
not young no
Oh,
more.
yeah. See, I might just, you know what? I might give you the, I'm sorry. I'll be like, you know what? I shouldn't have said it. That's as much as you can get. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I learned from this mistake. I'm taking time to grow. You're not hearing none of that.
Nah,
I'm
because in
taking time to
theory,
grow.
you should have already done grown by that point. You're already older.
Yeah.
That's what. So when you say apology video, I think of that.
Nah, man, I didn't. Not even apology
yeah.
video. Just it's all about the apology. It's how you manage it when you're facing it. What you did, you're not canceled. Ain't nobody gonna say shit to that. Unless they do, you're making money off that. You're in a good place.
Yeah, right. Oh no, I'll finesse it. I hope someone, because that means if you're trying to cancel me, I'm almost
You done
there.
made it.
I'm almost there.
You done made it.
Yeah.
You done
If
made
you're trying
it.
to get me out
If
of
you
here,
trying to cancel, yeah. Nah, I look forward. There's a whole bunch of shit like that that I'm very like. I'm like, I mean, I'll deal with that problem when I get there. You know what I mean? Like,
and
if
I
I
have
get
this
there,
thing where
then
if I don't want to watch it, like I adapt more like he's made recently a video, and I don't watch it because I don't care about what you have to say. I am good with cutting out. I'm not on Twitter 24/7 like everyone else is. That's just not me. Like everyone when they like the spaces were cool. I'm not in them because I'm on my phone 24/7 on Twitter tweeting.
Bro,
So it's real easy for me to cut off.
I was super baffled by your lack of Instagram. Or if you do, I could not find your Instagram. I was like, what's going on here? This guy's on Twitter, but he's not on the other things. This is so weird.
Yeah. I'm really not the social media guy, bro. I don't even be tweeting out the videos that much. Like, if ever. Like I think I've tweeted out the Lolifes podcast maybe 6 times. I tweet out the blogs I would make. Like for battle rap wise, because that's usually who I follow, like the crowd that I follow. So I'll tweet those. I'm just not on. I've never been like sitting on an app all day. I've never been that person. So I know I need to because of what I do, but I still can't. I might tweet once every couple days. I might give you like 3 in a row.
You are absolutely tweeting more than me, I promise.
You don't tweet.
I mean, I remember Twitter like every few days. I like to look at it. Well, it's because like when I post, right, it's TikTok now is the focus. Because, okay, here's why TikTok's interesting. My shit gets 200, 300 views max. But this girl walks up to me, and she has 275,000 followers, I found out after. She goes, oh, you followed me one time, and now your face appears all over my TikTok. Because TikTok is that good that it knew we were in the same city. And in those 200 views, it put me in front of her. And then I ran into her at the fucking show, and she recognized me off of TikTok. And, bro, it doesn't make sense. She doesn't even follow me like that. So TikTok is wildly interesting. I'm not going to lie. I didn't know it was like that, but it's like that. So, like, those 300 views, you don't know who the fuck they is, but they might be more meaningful than anything you're getting on another app. However, Instagram too, because, like, I'm already making the TikTok, so it's basically a reel. Plus, people I know that are young talk on Instagram Messenger. It's the easiest way to talk to a 20-year-old when you do run into them. I don't really go with the Snapchat route. I'm just not there anymore, but that's the other option for young people. But, yo, you say Facebook, and they look at you like, what? Text messaging, bro? You're not getting a number off a young person.
No. Well, listen, I'm out the game. I've been out the game 10 years.
Yo, I'm just saying, like, I'm not even talking like that. It's for me, it's all music, bro. It's all just because, like, I'm a rapper, right? So I'd be at shows. I'd just be like, yo, you make music. Let's blah, blah, blah. It's all Instagram, man, if you want to keep in touch with people.
Yeah. See, to me, Instagram's taking pictures, and that's not me. I'm not a picture taker.
No, it's just chat,
I used to post. Yeah. I used to just post, like, oh, go to this link for the pod. And I stopped doing that because I'm never on Instagram. I don't know, man. I'm bad with it. I'm bad with it.
I could empathize in the sense that, like, I have a go-to. I don't have a habitual posting on Instagram thing. I do it because, like, yo, we're a group. We're like putting out music. Like, I gotta be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I tell people all the time that, like whenever I'm talking to people from like my regular life and shit, like about this shit, I'm like, Ronaldo Rivera don't have no motherfucking in like social media because Ronaldo Rivera don't give a fuck about no social media. Right. You know what I mean? Like, Dutch Vega, Litty Bro, Flacko Bay, or whatever people, might know me as from music and from rapping and shit, is like, he has all the profiles because he got to be online and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to do artist shit.
Yo,
But,
it's
like,
super good to
I'm
spy on
bad at
people, though.
posting on Instagram and TikTok. I'm just now getting to. And I'm like, I had a regular Twitter profile, and then I said something to somebody. I was always talking shit. I would use Twitter to like talk shit to famous people, right? Like whenever I'd watch something like on Hot 97 or like on fucking Breakfast Club or like Vlad TV, and it upset me, I'd be like, "You bitch ass motherfucker. Let me tell you why you a bitch ass motherfucker." You know what I mean? Like, let me explain to you where you're going wrong in life. You know what I'm saying?
I like to remind Ja Rule on Twitter of the fire festival, so I'll put the fire emoji and the tent emoji. I like doing that a lot. Here and there.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
He needs to know what he did.
I forgot who it was that I said something to, and Twitter was like, "We've had enough of you. That's it, buddy. Like, you're not allowed to have this profile no more. How about that?" And they took that shit away. They took it away, and all my like friends that like are like famous, I'm not gonna hit them up with like, "Oh, I got a new profile." Like, nah, man, I'm not doing all that, bro. That shit is goofy as fuck. I'm not doing all that. So it's just like, oh well, I guess I don't exist on Twitter like that no more.
That's amazing.
And Facebook is really like my driving vehicle because like I do fucking write walls of fucking thoughts and shit. You know what I mean?
To follow his Facebook.
So, like Facebook's my thing. Like, but like I'm an old man, so like, hey, like it fits. But
Facebook, I scroll through just to see some like I never touch Instagram. Twitter is the one that I'm mainly on, scrolling. That's pretty much it. I just see what's happening, see what people are talking about.
It's super interesting to watch trending. Trending is a fascinating thing because sometimes wildly random shit trends, and then you go down rabbit holes you never expected in your life.
See, Fresh does a TikTok. He started doing the TikTok and the YouTube Shorts. I didn't do TikTok. I tried it. I would just record my coworker telling him to fuck off. That was pretty much as far as I went. At the time, it got like 1,300 views, which is kind of crazy. I didn't even know how this worked because he was telling me about TikTok, so I was making a joke. I was trying to make fun of him doing it. That totally stopped because I only did it like 4 times. But then he does Fresh does like car talk. Like he records his car, the updates he does. So I guess there's a following for that, and that's working. So I thought about it, putting the Lolifes on, put like little clips up on TikTok, but I don't know how it goes. I don't know how it works.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a lot of work, to be honest. Like, I'm not gonna pretend like, cause it's thinking mad different. Like, I'm bad at TikTok. I don't even want to pretend like I'm good at it. I'm just having fun with the platform, cause I got into stories, right? Like, just the stories feature, and I got into these 45 seconds of me just doing random shit. And then I noticed people respond to like regular shit. Like, I'll ride my bicycle and that'll get reactions. And I'm like, y'all are fucking wild. Okay, we doing normal people shit now. So but it makes me want to go to things. So a lot of my TikTok is just, I'll be at like a festival and I'll just film random shit. I'll film graffiti. I'll film me, or something will happen and I know my girlfriend doesn't care about it. So I'll film a TikTok instead of bothering her. And I'll rant at some shit or whatever. It's just, I don't even try to be a TikToker. I just make TikToks for the habit of trying to understand this short form snippet styled content. But I also saw music's got like, people be wildly just making music videos on TikTok now. So like, you don't even have to do high budget shit. You just need to have TikTok and know how to make a good TikTok video, and you making ill music videos that are like a minute long. And it's the weirdest shit to see play out, but so all of that's really interesting to me. And the app knows you, so it's gonna show you content.
I'm gonna have to try it, man. I mean, he told me, he's like, we should, but
but it's more like you should, because it's like you just gotta be Sly on TikTok, and then TikTok's gonna understand the Sly and then it's not.
You know what would probably actually be good for you on TikTok is like that remix feature and just fucking
Oh my
reacting to
gosh,
the TikToks that are, because that is
that'd be
like one of the more
hilarious.
popping things on TikTok. But like, I think that your takes would be like probably be amongst the type of people's takes that go popular. You know what I mean? Like your
Facts.
reaction to your co-hosts on your shows is, you know what I'm saying, entertaining as is. So
And you
like
would just find
you
wild, dumb
probably
shit.
reacting to fucking
Yeah, I would
dumbass
love
shit on
that.
TikTok.
Bro, and you gotta understand, like, to make
There's
these
somebody
videos,
actually, you know
bro.
what? I just followed somebody on TikTok because they followed me. There's some battle rapper or battle rap, I think, blogger, and he does reactions to shit. And I was just like, yo, battle rappers are fucking. I'm always like, whenever it's battle, it's a community to me. You know what I mean? And like everybody's a part of it. You know, so
Yeah.
like I like to show support to everybody's shit, especially with like just subscribing. Like, bro, it's just a click of the button and shit. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
it.
Like
But it's
that.
also
It
like
ain't nothing. You know
wildly
what I'm
easy to
saying?
make
So
TikToks. So like, yo, honestly, dude, to create one of them Stitch videos, you're talking 8 minutes of effort, and that's with you finessing it and doing ollie or whatever to make it just perfect. 8 minutes, like, ain't nothing like TikTok once you start to really get into what TikTok can do.
Yeah, they do some wild, like, super editing on TikTok. I've seen, like, because my kids will watch the
oh no,
shorts a lot.
they do some all sorts. Because I've seen some of them videos. They show you how they're doing the shit. There's actually, I think Kevin on stage did like one of that, like where like he remixes it and he does like his reaction and he's like, how did you do that? Like he's trying to do it live on camera and shit, and it's like, no, it doesn't work for me, it works for you. You can do that shit.
Right.
I am never gonna be able to like get my body to mechanically move the way that I need to in order to get this video to look the way that you made that video look.
Nah, I mean that
Cause they
stuff.
be doing all sorts of shit, changing fucking angles and
But then you
shit.
just got like
Fucking
other sides where honestly,
like,
I'll just
yo,
watch people in front of a green screen rant at me, and I enjoy that. Like in a minute and a half, like, let me tell you about this blah blah blah
facts.
blah 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 blah
There's a
blah blah
lot of
blah
this.
blah 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 blah, and this is why this person cares about this, and you need to know it. Follow for more.
Boom. That's it. I saw
Yeah,
this
facts.
one where this dude named Ben was getting harassed by this dark guy. They were like, "Oh, Benny boy," and then they would harass this dude. He was going up. He would just react with these crazy reactions, pointing up to some video, and then someone would like, "Is it called Stitch?" When the next, like, I don't know,
Yeah.
I don't, whatever. But the guy that made the TikTok would show up, and he would be like, "Oh, we're in the walls." I thought this thing was like the funniest thing in the world. I watched mad of them. They just clowning this dude over and over again. And those, I was like, oh, I can see me doing that. That'd be kind of funny. But then I think like there's probably millions of people doing it. So I was like,
But it's not.
forget it.
But yo, that's the thing is, it's not necessary. It's okay. TikTok is stupid, right? Like, it wants to know that you're gonna be real with your shit, so you have to behave. You have to be a little dedicated. You have to show it. You're gonna put out your fucking 3 TikToks, and that's the only downside, bro. It's like 3 a day. You gotta have your 3 a day and figure that shit out. But once you can figure it, yo, it's a little bit of effort. Like, you gotta plan that. Like, it's fucking hard to be spontaneous 3 times a day and live life. So half of that shit has to be like banking, blah blah blah. You figure it out. But that's like your main series is. Then you mix in your like real life shit. And like end of the day, like once you get the rewarded, it starts showing people your shit, and they start following you, and then the more people start following you, the more it starts showing people your shit. You get your first 10,000 one, you get your second one, and it just kind of builds up. And then I don't know, if you get lucky, you figure out your series quickly that you can like latch onto and get a lot. But really, it's like being an influencer at that point. You just have to make sure you putting out interesting shit. And as long as you think it's interesting, other people will think it's interesting.
Right. Well, maybe I'll try it. Maybe that would be a next venture in time.
Fair.
This was a fucking good conversation. We got Sly's going to try out some Drake, and he's going the new album again.
Yeah.
We're gonna try on some TikTok. Maybe.
Facts.
Yeah, I'll follow you on TikTok.
I appreciate it. You know what? I'm gonna follow you, dog.
Hey.
I'm gonna follow you. Now I want to say I appreciate y'all having me over here to talk, man. This is the first time I ever on this side like getting asked things, so it's cool. I appreciate it, and I respect it that y'all watched, you liked, and I like what y'all do, and we should, you know what I mean? Come over to our side. Come to the show.
Man.
Come talk to us too as well.
I would love that.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Absolutely.
I'm not with the. It's a lot of oh, you need to be here, dude, until we talk to you, and I'm never gonna be like that. Like I'm not the one to be calling people that follow me fans or nothing like that. No, you rock with us, cool. That's if we're gonna keep it, because that's it. I want y'all to come through, come chop it up with us as well.
That'd be blessed,
we work together, bro.
Yeah, I'm into
like
that.
it.
Absolutely.
I fucks with the vibe heavy. That. I like the way you. I like your energy.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, nah, you while entertaining, you're great. There's just certain people that are just like, yo, this is who the internet should be built for. You know what I mean? Like, this is you got a good personality for the shit, and your takes are good. Your fucking back and forth with your co-host is good. I'm entertained. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that.
So
Thank
like,
you.
Word.
I like how y'all vibe is too. Just real cool, laid back conversation. Don't gotta worry about being too hype. I like that. I like that too.
We just want to know about you and shit. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna learn.
That's it. Hear your perspectives.
Life. Your perspectives in life. You know what I'm saying? And people are there's gonna always be somebody who's eventually gonna end up coming back. Like, wait, what? Like, I've become enough of a fan of XL, of Sly, of Mercy, of, you know what I mean? That they're gonna be like, yo, what else do they have online? Like, I want to know more about them, and we're sitting here like, we wanted to know more about them too.
Yeah, right.
That's why this is so fun.
Yeah, that's how sometimes, like, we did a couple interviews. We came to New York City once because when we had the Lolifes, you probably know, Flacko, about the Lolifes in Brooklyn, right? Houston. So, third episode, I was like, we should probably reach out because someone had left a comment saying, "Are you part of the Lolifes from Brooklyn?" Never heard of them. So I'm like, Lolifes from Brooklyn. So I look it up and I'm like, oh my God, didn't even know there was a whole gang going on. Didn't know that. So I get in touch with Rudy Lowe, who's part of the Lolifes. He's been on like Queens Flip the Script, and he came on our show, and nobody knew, like nothing. We were brand new, and he said he would talk to us. So I was like, all right, we're gonna get this out the way. Is it all right if we use the name so we don't have to worry about down the line? So we've done a couple interviews, and I don't like to talk to people too much because they act different. They don't act the same way they usually you act a whole different way on camera. I just want you to be natural. I don't want to have the whole theatrics all the time, but just have a conversation. And that's why we're like
people.
Yeah, and I've never understood that. Like, I'm gonna be this way as soon as I shut the camera off. This is just who I am. I'm not trying to be someone I'm not at all. So
your natural character.
So I'm just
you're like, it's not another person. It's not
it's me.
Yeah, it's you.
This is me, and that's what, like, you're like, forget it. We'll talk to people who we want to talk to. We're not really jumping. That's why you'll never see too many interviews on either side. Like with the battle rap, we'll have face-offs in here and there more than with the Lowlifes. This is gonna be me and Fresh until we find someone, maybe like his brother that raps. We talk to him a lot. Those are funny. If you want to watch, it's Pop the President. Those are hilarious because that dude's a character. Like, Fresh's brother is insane. So we'll talk to him. We'll talk to, but really, it's just gonna be us because I don't like talking to people that act like that. Like, y'all, different. You just yourselves. I don't like the whole theatrics all the time.
It took like a lot. Like, I mean, it's a lot of practice, I think, of just being on camera too, right? Like, it took years to get comfortable with the idea that like how you present your. Well, frankly, it just takes a while to get comfortable with the fact that everything you say can and will be used against you on camera. But then you get comfortable with that because you just get used to it, or at least you get used to just at least having that little filter in the back of your mind, and then it's just nothing. It's like a muscle memory just to be there. And then over the years, I don't know. This is like the 6th or 7th year I've been pushing podcasting now, so like,
oh, that's dope.
It's like it took a while to be comfortable. I did have to actually watch some of those episodes.
You had to go through. You had to dip. Like
for me, it's like it's different because I'm like older, right? And like I like grew up in New York City. It was like, yo, I had to be comfortable with being me. Period. Because New York is how New York is. So like everybody's got to be. You got to be you genuinely. Like if you're fake about anything, New York is gonna smell it a mile away. You know what I'm saying? So like you gotta be genuine. And like that's always been my shit to other people. Like when me and Holden first started and shit, you know? Like I would always tell him, like, I'd be like, yo, be you, son. You know what I mean? Like I like you for you. You know, like
be comfortable.
It's like it's important. Yeah, be comfortable. That's in New York. When we were in New York, I was like, listen, you should be comfortable. Don't be too comfortable.
Yeah.
But be comfortable. But don't get too comfortable.
The city's a wild place. The city's so wild.
It is, but like it makes you comfortable with who you are. So like I've always, you know what I mean, kind of had that like, and through rap and doing a lot of shit. But like for a long time there, it was also like I felt like there was no outlets for us to really like you know, express ourselves in like interviews outside of the things that people expect us to talk about.
Right.
Like I don't want to always just talk about rap. You know what I mean? Like I'm a rapper and like that shit is like it means everything to me. I love it to death. But at the same time, like I got an opinion on
I think it's also like just the topical regular shit.
Game of Thrones.
It's interesting.
Game of Thrones. I mean, that's how I am. I don't want to always talk about battle rap, bro. I don't like. That's not all I watch.
Yeah,
like, I watch a lot of other things that I want to talk about. So that's when we start talking about like true crime, which is like my thing that I watch all the time.
Word. My wife is a huge like true crime. So she puts me on to all the like. She's the one that put me on to Mindhunter, put me on Undercover, was it on HBO? The show with that it was like people were like, yo, this shit was fucking amazing. Like it was like one of the best shows ever, but they didn't keep it going into the second season. I think it was like a one-off season type of thing. But the point is, she's like big in true crime.
Yeah, that's me. I watch everything. I listen to stories about crime at work. I'm crime, so I'm not watching battle rap all the time. So why would I want to sit here and talk about it and break down every bar? That's not no. I love it, but
yeah, I bet true crime TikTok would love you.
Yo, I tell a quick little crime story, and then just jet. I could probably do that. Cause I'm with all the serial killers. I like watching them, all that. That's just listening to crazy. This one dude on YouTube, disturbing, got the craziest stories. Sometimes be making me cringe because they like too crazy. He's got this series,
like a white dude with
I think so, but he don't show his face.
Oh, he don't show his face.
No, okay, it's just pictures, and he just like narrates the story and. His stories are crazy. Like he has a series called Too Gruesome to Mention. Oh my! Some of them I just gotta shut off because I'm squeamish when it comes to like God, I can't talk about it. I like start getting queasy, and so some of them I just gotta shut off because they get too wild. But I don't know. That's just my thing. Crime.
Nah, it makes sense. My girlfriend's obsessed too, so I'd be like caught up on some of them, like some San Francisco serial killer guy, and then you'll hear the interviews of man's talking, and then you'll watch the shitty dramatic reenactments, and like there's a whole fucking vibe to it. Or like my homeboy put me onto some Skinner dude who just disappeared out of the plane and he's gone, and there's all these mysteries around. It's like, yo, you just get caught up, especially when they don't know what happened. Bro, when they don't know what happened, oh my god, the theories get crazy.
Facts. I like all that. That's usually what I be watching when I'm not watching battle rap or Trailer Park Boys. For real, no joke. That's mine. I'm watching their podcast. Is funny, hilarious. They be making up fake scenarios, but the way they move off each other is what I like the most. How they can improv off each other, even in this, like not scripted. They might throw like a little skit in the beginning, like how they walk into the house. It's funny. I think it's funny, but if it's not battle rap, it's Trailer Park Boys and crime. That's it. And random movies. That's what I be watching.
Nah, it makes sense.
That's why I always want to talk about it. You know.
Yeah, Holden doesn't. Not everybody does the same thing. I remember when me and Holden first started fucking with each other, and I realized that he doesn't like watch movies like that. He's like a book reader.
Yo, I'll be watching like, TV series and I read crazy books. Well, books is like working out your brain. That's why I read books.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he doesn't like movies. He likes TV series. That was the thing. But I was like, what?
I like TV series as well.
I like TV series as well, but
like, movies is my. You gotta watch.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
like, what are we talking about here? There's an art to the fucking.
I mean, I wildly be multitasking, you know? So I'd be like, because you can like listen, half watch TV shows, and it's more of a lifestyle thing. So it's like I don't want to be. I don't want to be like sitting there. Like I don't really care about the cinematography and all that shit. I want some good ass dialogue and interesting plot points. So that's the shit that whatever. So then I'll like play a game next to it or whatever, and like I don't know. My whole life can't be music. It would be too much. Like it would just be too much. And when you have those people that's all they talk about, it's like, bro. I mean, yo, did you not see the gossip on the Twitter today? Some scandalous thing happened. Like, can we not talk about like, or even politics? Like, dude, life, regular shit.
Right.
That's what I think separates us from the rest, like in battle raps, because we're not just talking about it, and that's what I love the most of it, because we don't. That's not all we do in our life. We can love battle rap, diehard fan, but you watch something else besides Loaded Lives. I know you do. You gotta say something else in life.
I be realizing that Excel watches a lot of fucking wrestling.
A lot.
Facebook and shit.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of wrestling.
He be having strong wrestling opinions, and I'll be like, "Yo, bro, I hear you." Word.
He needs to start a wrestling podcast with someone that watches it. It ain't gonna be me, because I don't know nothing about wrestling. Last time I watched it, Kane and Undertaker were brothers or whatever. When I was 8 years old, they were fighting. That was the last time I ever. I think it was like WWF still.
That's a long time.
Yeah, that or MMA podcast. He should do one of the two.
Or both.
That or MMA
you could just do both.
Or both, yeah.
Yeah.
I know
it's a lot, though. That's a lot of talking.
I mean, if you're already watching the shit, talking's pretty easy.
I would like to do like a one-off podcast of like a dope series or something like that. Like we watch the series, then we recap I would like to do that once or twice.
I was thinking about doing that recently with a friend of mine, because I've never watched One Piece, and like
anime joint.
Yeah, the anime joint.
I never seen it.
I never seen it, and so like, but like he's a huge fan, and so like he wanted us to do like us watching it together, so like me for the first time essentially and shit. But
that'd be dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried some shit like that at one point. My problem was because I couldn't just watch it once. I had to watch everything twice. Otherwise, I didn't feel like I could talk about it. So if you're like, that's like a 45-minute episode, and then you'd be like watching it 2 times in a row, basically, so that you could be like prepared. And I didn't know how to do it. I couldn't figure out a way to do it where I enjoyed the process of preparing for the shit.
Right.
Yeah, our show producer in the comments is like, One Piece is awesome. Like
that's what sometimes when we have to go over topics, I gotta like the whole Joe Budden breakup with the podcast, I have had watched all of what they said at least 6 times before I have ever spoke about it. So, and had all these points of what I wanted to hit, what I needed to talk about, because there's no way I was going in here not writing anything down. I can't remember all this like in different episodes. And that's when I was like, all right, this is a problem. Breaking, like, I want to just come in here and just talk. I don't want to have to do this on a podcast. I do this in these videos. That's one thing, but a podcast, I had it. But it was so important because there was so much nuance in like what they were saying, and like during that whole breakup, they would say one thing that you wouldn't catch if you didn't listen to the 2 before this happened, and it was insane. I was glad I did it, but still, you get in these modes. And I feel like to watch over and over again. And I'd be like, all right, I'm going to take a break from this. Yeah, we back, man. My bad. That was a quick 2 hours. I didn't even realize.
Yo, it's good times. Yeah. That's when you know it's fun.
Talk about your life and talk about, the things that you're doing is like, it's not it should never be like a half hour, 45-minute conversation.
Right.
That's like it's a couple hours to talk about your life. You know what I'm saying? Like at least.
And when we go past 2, it's
even if you do it while humbly and try to go past, like, you start thinking about shit and you're like, and talking about, growing up and shit,
Facts.
But it's even like
in your house.
You're an interesting guy with an ability to just kind of talk on topics interestingly. So when you have that skill, it's just like you're making this too easy for us.
Yeah, I think that's what that fits so well with this is just run off and talk, man. And I love it. I'm constantly talking. You kind of get sick of it sometimes. It's just like, all right, maybe I don't feel like talking right after. Like when I'm doing this, I'm gonna be in here. I might have to edit, and I'm just gonna be alone because I did enough today. I did enough talking for today. I'm good, but I can't see myself stopping anytime soon because I love it, and there's too much put into it now. I can't go too far. So, but
we've gone too far.
We've gone too far. But yeah, I'm glad that I decided to do this, and not just give it up when I saw it. Like it wasn't like, oh, no one's watching it. I'm done. We tried it. I'm glad I was just like, no, let's just keep going, because this is great. This is like great. Since I couldn't rap, this is the best thing I could do. Is talk.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Well, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure fucking having you. You know.
Thank you for having me, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Shout out to EO Dub. That's our platform. Shouts out to. Matter of fact, Holden, take it away.
Yeah, so shout out to everybody that's watching us too. But shout out end of the week. They be the ones hosting this. You can find out all the information at eodub.com. That's eodub.com. And then you can find all their follow them stuffs. But appreciate all of you watching this in the live that are still with us. Y'all are wonderful people because people do.
You should also like Sly. You should. What's your like?
You can follow me on Twitter and it's _King Sly SLYE. Switched it up for this time because I couldn't do SLY for some reason. So SLYE and Lolifes TV on YouTube and No Mercy TV. That's where Let's Chop This Fable is, which is every Saturday at 9 a.m. Or no, that was at 9 a.m. It's at 10 a.m. now. 10 a.m. Saturday and Wednesday at 7:30-ish around that time. But Lolifes TV if you want to see the Lolifes podcast. And that's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, it's dope.
That's all I got to plug.
And
I appreciate it. We should link up again one time. You come over, man.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Super down.
We got a chat going. I'll definitely start arranging it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
For whenever we got time.
But yeah, so shout out everybody watching us in the future too. So yeah, links in the description. Definitely follow, subscribe, all that good stuff that you're supposed to do on the other platforms that are not live. But we appreciate you all still the same. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much all of it. So on that note, shout out Danny for holding us down. And yo, live long.
Love you, Danny.
And prosper, everyone. Oh, and shout out you, Sly, because this was fun.
I appreciate it, man. Shout out y'all, Holden. Shout out Flacko for having me. That's great. I appreciate it. It means a lot.